The following program is recommended for those 16 and over, as it contains sporting violence, possible bad language, and flashing imagery.
Ladies and gentlemen, good evening and welcome. It's now time for the featured bout of the evening. From the four corners of the world to the four corners of this ring, the fight starts now!
It is fight day in New York City. Matchroom Boxing kicks off its 2023 schedule back at the scene that featured what many call the fight of the year in 2022 between Katie Taylor and New York's own Amanda Serrano. The Brooklyn resident and proud Puerto Rican is back in action this evening against Mexico's Erika Cruz for all the featherweight glory on our undisputed doubleheader later tonight on DAZN. Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome inside the Hulu Theater at Madison Square Garden here in New York City, along with the former junior welterweight champ, Chris Algieri. I'm Justin Shackle. Coming up on DAZN later tonight, it is the 7-division champ, Amanda Serrano, going back inside the ring in her home arena against the WBA featherweight champ, Erika Cruz. In the co-feature, we have the unified super featherweight champion, Alicia Baumgartner, stepping in the ring with France's Ellen Mechalad. Baumgartner has undisputed aspirations. She can try and solve the puzzle at 130 pounds later tonight. And when you take a look at this 4 or 5 year period, Chris, there's been 6 champions crowned undisputed in women's boxing. We could theoretically have the 7th and 8th tonight. Even on the men's side, so many champions have become undisputed over the last 5 years or so. What has led to this period being labeled the undisputed era?
One word: demand. The fighters have been demanding it, the fans have been demanding it, and promoters are more willing to cross-promote with other promoters to make these fights happen. So when the demand is there, you know, we've got to do it. And now we're seeing these champions fight each other, and we're unifying, and that's what the sport needs. It's good for boxing. What's good for the fans is good for us, is good for boxing.
We have 9 bouts on board for tonight, 5 of which you're going to see right here on Before the Bell, and it'll lead off with Aaron Aponte going up against Joshua Rivera. Aponte coming off a split draw on the Canelo Triple G undercard back in September. He looks to stay undefeated. Harley Medeiros, Brooklyn's own, making his MSG debut as a pro against Julio Madera, and then a WBC super middleweight title eliminator, Shadeja Green against Elin Cederus, who we saw in the Taylor Serrano undercard in April. Ramla Ali and Avril Mathy, 2 undefeated fighters, go at it for an IBF regional strap. And Skye Nicholson makes her return to the U.S. to start off her 2023 campaign. Also a WBC regional belt on the line as she takes on Spain's Tanya Alvarez. Now, Aponte and Rivera starting us off here on Before the Bell. We mentioned Aaron Aponte coming away with that split draw against Fernando Molina back in September. A learning bout for him, very much so. And for a young fighter like Aponte, when you come away with the draw, you can look at it 2 ways, correct?
Right. When I was coming up, I always looked at a draw as a loss. So for me, if I was coming back from something like that, I would want to make a statement. And Aaron Aponte has been saying that all week long. He wants the knockout. He wants to make people think he's spectacular again. And to do that, he's going to look for the stoppage. And I think that's the mindset he needs to have. Whether he gets it or he doesn't, it's going to make for a good fight.
Well, that's going to be our first match here on Before the Bell. Of course, the final match of the night coming up later on DAZN. Amanda Serrano going up against Erika Cruz for the featherweight undisputed marbles at featherweight here in New York City.
Amanda, the real deal, Serrano!
7 weight classes, 7-time world champion.
Erika Cruz!
She's just a straight fighter. It doesn't get much bigger than this. She wants to make history.
Serrano and Cruz coming up later tonight on DAZN. Of course, kicking it off here on Before the Bell, Aaron Aponte, Joshua Rivera. Aponte 6-0-1, looking to stay undefeated as he makes his way back to MSG. It's the 2nd time he is fighting in New York City in his pro career.
Ponce, things didn't go completely to plan for you last time out, but crucially, you're back out quickly and you can make amends here.
Yes, sir. I'm looking to redeem myself, and, you know, I learned a lot in the last fight, and we're going to capitalize on
When you sort of look back on that night in Vegas, obviously it was an amazing, massive platform. Have you sort of thought about things and figured out what didn't go right on the night?
I'd say what I learned from the fight, I learned how to be more, I have more boxing IQ now.
I think sometimes you can learn more with a setback, and it's crucial that you can sort of put that right in the ring. And obviously you get the opportunity to do that here in New York. You fought here before as a professional, so you must be looking forward to sort of getting back in the ring and sort of making those wrongs right.
Yes, sir. Last time I came here, I got a second round knockout. So, you know, trying to keep that streak going, start a streak. And, you know, since that last fight, I have a fire in me, and I'm looking to prove myself.
You're still obviously only 21, so you're still so young. There's no need to rush things. Have you set yourself any goals for this year that you'd like to hit?
Yeah, stay undefeated. Stay undefeated, keep winning fights, and keep doing what I'm doing.
Activity is obviously massive. How many times are you hoping that you can get out this year?
Hopefully at least 4 times. You know, we're looking to stay active and, you know, just climb up the rankings in all the what's it called? Like the IBO, the WBO, WBC, all the organizations that are ranking. So I'm trying to get up and eventually fight for a little belt.
As you said, the last time out in New York, you got the stoppage win. A similar manner of victory would be the perfect way to start your year and to really set the tone right.
Yes, sir. A stoppage is what I'm looking for because, you know, after that last fight, I'm looking to redeem myself, you know, shut up all the haters and all the doubters, and come back on a strong victory.
When you're in the ring, can you see the knockout coming, or is it something that you plan for? How does it come about?
I mean, I always see it coming. Every fight I see a knockout coming, but you know, you set things up and then you make them happen, and if he falls, he falls. If he doesn't, you keep fighting until that last bell rings.
And finally, what is your prediction for Saturday night? What are you hoping to show your fans in the ring?
I'm looking for a knockout. Most importantly, the win, but I'm always looking for the knockout. I always want to get that spectacular win, that highlight reel that we could put on Instagram and everybody talks about.
That's what all young fighters want, to be able to throw it on the gram, throw it on TikTok. We've seen that time and time again. As we welcome you back to our Before the Bell set, Chris Algieri, Justin Shackle, getting ready for a busy night of fights here in New York City. And Aponte's last stoppage came in this room back in August of 2021, a card that you were on, actually. When we have some time here to talk about this venue. Everyone knows how special April 30th, 2022 ended up being in the big room at Madison Square Garden between Katie Taylor and Amanda Serrano. But if you talk to Serrano, Brooklyn bred, she was born in Puerto Rico, has such big Puerto Rican support here in New York City, she does not hesitate to tell you that this is the room that she considers home.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I fought in this room. I fought in the room upstairs many, many times in my career. There's something special about this room, man. It's just the size of it, the feel of it. You know, it's gritty. It's New York. You know, it's got that New York feel. You know, the big room, obviously, you want to fight there as well. You want to be in those championship fights to get those big numbers, but you're built here. You know, you cut your teeth in this room, and that's what these fighters are looking to do tonight.
Now the doors open already, and we are going to see some of that garden atmosphere right out of the gate. Aaron Aponte, Joshua Rivera coming up. 8 rounds at super lightweight for these two fighters. Aponte weighing in at 138.6. There you see him hitting the scales there. Rivera, meanwhile, coming in at 138.8. The face-off, a spirited weigh-in show yesterday, of course, highlighted by Richardson Hitchens and John Bauza, who you are going to hear and see from later on the main card tonight. But we kick it off with Aaron Aponte, Joshua Rivera as well. And, of course, Harley Medeiros, Julia Madera coming up. Then 3 straight women bouts. Elin Sedarus against Shadeja Green. Ramla Ali and Avril Mathy go at it. A pair of undefeated fighters fighting for an IBF regional strap. And then Sky Nicholson takes on Tanya Alvarez, the main card here on Before the Bell. We will kick it off here Before the Bell as we throw it ringside to David Diamante.
Ladies and gentlemen, good evening and welcome inside the Hulu Theater here, the world's most famous arena, Madison Square Garden, for a huge night of World Championship professional boxing. And we begin tonight with an 8-round super lightweight affair. Let's please welcome to the ring. He'll be fighting out of the red corner, the pretty boy, Joshua David Rivera.
"28-year-old Joshua David Rivera, Southern California born and bred. He was born in LA, raised and currently lives in San Diego, and he enters tonight with an 8-1 record. He will compete in his first 8-round fight as a professional. Rivera earned a majority decision victory in his last fight on October 14th in Tijuana, where he defeated Edgar Almadala, and it was a swing of 1 round from being scored a draw, but Rivera got the win over the same opponent who handed him his only career loss 11 months ago, and now he is making his U.S. debut in New York City.
And now entering the arena, please welcome the undefeated Aaron, the Alien King Aponte.
Aaron Aponte, only 21, but he has been a pro a little over 2 years, and in that time he has built his record to 6-0-1. And the competition pitted against Aponte has been challenging. Heard Eddie Hearn say that earlier this week. Aponte agreed, and that was the case over his last 2 fights. In June, he went into Guadalajara. He earned a split decision over Mexico's Leo Martinez. Came back in September on the Canelo Triple G3 undercard, and he had a terrific battle with one of Eddie Reynoso's proteges and Angel Molina. And they fought to a split draw in a battle where Aponte and Molina both hit the canvas. Now, Aponte told us the entire experience has enhanced his boxing IQ, and he is ready to show us exactly how he's, as he steps inside the ring here at Madison Square Garden for the 2nd time in his young pro career.
Ladies and gentlemen, once again, good evening and welcome to the Hulu Theater here inside the world's most famous arena, Madison Square Garden, for a big night of World Championship professional boxing. We are live on DAZN, and the whole night is being brought to you courtesy of Mr. Eddie Hearn of Matchroom Boxing. We're sponsored by Stagefront, Crowd RX, and Renaissance Hotels. All of tonight's bouts are sanctioned under the auspices of the New York State Athletic Commission. Introducing your 3 judges scoring our first contest from ringside. From New York, Ron McNair. Also from New York, Alan Nace. And from Massachusetts, Martha Tremblay. And at the sound of the bell, your 3rd person in the ring, referee Sparkle Lee. And now, ladies and gentlemen, 8 rounds of boxing scheduled in the super lightweight division. Introducing first, fighting out of the red corner, wearing the red with silver trim. He scaled 138.8 pounds. His professional record, 8 victories against 1 defeat. He has 5 wins coming by way of knockout. Fighting out of La Mesa, California, please welcome the pretty boy, Joshua David Rivera. And his opponent across the ring, fighting out of the blue corner. He wears the solid black trunks. He scaled 138.6 pounds. He is undefeated in his campaign as a professional with a record of 6 wins, no defeats, 1 draw, with 2 wins coming by way of knockout. He fights out of Hialeah Gardens, Florida. Please welcome Aaron, the Alien King Aponte.
All right, this is good right here, and this is good right here. You're ready to see your instructions, obey my commands, protect yourself at all times, touch gloves.
getting final words from his corner. His head coach, Tiger Smalls, in 28 years of age, from the San Diego area, making his first fight in the U.S. against the undefeated Aaron Aponte in the black trunks as we are underway here on Before the Bell, all leading up to Serrano Cruz later tonight on DAZN. Along with Chris Algieri, I'm Justin Shackle.
Right away, you can see the aggression from Rivera, trying to get on the inside of the taller, longer Aponte. Ooh, good shots on the inside there from Rivera.
Rivera starting off fast, trying to muscle and rough around Aponte here in the opening seconds.
You know, that's a smart tactic from Rivera. You know, we had mentioned Aponte coming off that draw in his last fight, looking to really go out there and make a statement. Rivera trying to catch him cold.
Aponte controlled the action for the opening rounds in that fight against Melendez. He tagged Rivera with a left hook.
Nice left hooks there from Aponte. Set them up beautifully with the 1-2 and then through the hook. There it is again.
Connects with another. And perhaps Rivera is slowing down a little bit after those 2 tags.
Step back, guys.
See Sparkle Lee, the third person in the ring here to start us off on Before the Bell.
Good jab there from Aponte.
Aponte said that they had been working on his counter-punching during this training camp and just staying safe with his throws, as you see another accurate jab, where he could throw one hand while the other hand blocks.
You know, Aponte's got great height and reach. You know, he's got wide shoulders. You can see that. You know, for this weight class, he's got that advantage over all these guys. He should be fighting from the outside, using that jab, letting those power punches go whenever Rivera gets within range.
Another left hook from Aponte, who stands at 6 feet even, has a 76-inch reach for a 140-pounder.
Yeah, that's wild. I fought a 140 as well. I have a 72, 73-inch reach, which was long. He's got a 76.
Whether it is with that jab or the left hook, Aponte very accurate here in the opening round, and he's definitely slowed Rivera down compared to those opening 30 seconds or so.
Yeah, we're only 2 minutes into this fight, a little over 2 minutes, and you can see which style is going to work for each man. Rivera's on the inside. He's letting those hands go. He landed some good shots early, but from the outside, Aponte's king.
Aaron Aponte looks to be in complete control here, just letting Rivera come to him and then unload.
I like that move that Aponte just did. He set his ground, drew a line in the sand. As Rivera stepped over, threw a hard right-hand left hook combination. Almost both punches landed hard.
Rivera with 2 shots to the body. Aponte working in the center of the ring. Good action to open up the night here at the Garden. Aaron Aponte, calm and collective. You see Aponte getting instructions from his father, Reniel Aponte. He was the other individual with the alien mask on as they were being introduced.
Nice action in that opening round. These guys are not shy about throwing the leather.
Aaron Aponte trying to remain undefeated and move to 7-0-1. Again, his last knockout came in this arena. Back in August of 2021, he TKO'd Gerardo Gonzalez in the second round, but since then, he has racked up 20 professional rounds of experience as he brushes Rivera with another left hook here in the second.
I like what Aponte is doing, tipping his head up to the side, throwing that up jab, hitting the smaller man just under the chin. It's a really nice move when you've got that reach advantage and a good jab.
Rivera continuing to come forward with the jab, and Aponte meets him with a counter. Another counter right.
You know, Rivera's very dogged and workmanlike in his approach. He's coming forward, he gets hit with shots, shakes his head no, comes back, throws body shots, just like that.
Both boxers countering with shots to the body here at the center of the ring.
Nice lead right hand there from Aponte from the outside. And back on Rivera.
By Rivera to the body of Aponte. But here comes Aponte charging forward.
I think Aponte actually hurt Rivera to the body there with a couple of those exchanges. Not sure if he saw it himself, but when you got a good body puncher in front of you like Rivera, it's good they touch them to the body as well, see if they like it.
Ooh. Oh, Rivera met him with an overhand right. Nice connection by the Southern Californian.
Yeah, and then Aponte came over the top with the left hook. Ooh, good attempt there, just misses from Aponte.
When you sort of have a fighter in front of you, but he's kind of bursting into the pocket, what's your reaction if you're Aponte on defense?
Now, we've seen it at certain aspects of this fight. You take a half step back and throw your own power punch. At this point, though, I don't think Aponte has his range right just yet. He's taking the step, but he's throwing looping shots, and it's kind of going around the ears of Rivera. If he straightens those out, he can get some real damage done like that.
Might be one of the final elements it takes for Aponte to solve this equation, no?
I believe so. I think he's close to the range. He's got the timing for sure, but he needs to straighten out those punches just a little bit like that.
There's a dangerous right hand from Aponte.
Nice right hand. See, that's what I'm talking about. He takes that half step back, makes a little bit of distance. He has the reach advantage. He just needs to straighten those punches out.
Rivera and Aponte locking up along the ropes. Final 30 seconds here of round number 2. First of 5 bouts here on Before the Bell tonight. Another nice fadeaway left hook from Aaron Aponte. Tell you what, less than 2 rounds into the opening bout, room's filling up pretty quickly here, Chris.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, New York fight fans are the best. They come out. Oh, good dig to the body there from Aponte to close the second round.
And another at the buzzer. Aaron Aponte, again, looking in complete control in round 2. You see good action from the second round. Both fighters landing some quality left shots to the body. But when it comes to upstairs action, Aponte, I actually see right there, having no issues with his timing.
Yeah, that was a great display of how Aponte's been taking those half step back, keeping his reach, keeping his range, and then able to counter Rivera over the top with left hooks and right hands.
Get a shot of Aponte's cut man, Mike Basil.
Mike the Mechanic Basil, one of the best in the biz.
It's going to keep you looking good.
That's why I have him in my corner.
Josh Rivera, 28 years of age. Again, making his U.S. debut and taking a big step up in competition against Aaron Aponte. He has 15 family and friends who made the cross-country trip from San Diego up here to New York. He called Madison Square Garden his dream venue to fight in as we get going here with round number 3 between Aponte in the black trunks and Rivera in the red. Good left hook coming forward from Rivera.
I would say there's fighters all over the country and the world who would agree with Rivera that this is a dream venue to fight in. Nice jab there from Aponte. That is what I think is missing. If he really wants to start getting these knockouts, or if he wants to be able to stop Rivera, you got that long reach, use that jab. Blind that power shot. He's not a huge puncher. He's not a one-punch guy. But if he sets it up with the jab, I think he can hurt guys.
This is the second match scheduled for 8 rounds for Aaron Aponte as he unloads with a combination upstairs against Rivera, and he checks him with a big right hand that lands on the chin.
I'll say this, man, Rivera's tough. That was a big, clean right hand as he was coming in and took it well.
Continuing to come forward is Joshua Rivera. It's Aponte unloading some jabs now. Rivera trying to shrink that distance with the double jab attempt. We've seen it a couple times here in round 3.
Yeah, he tried to rush Aponte in the first round, and second round. But now it seems like that line in the sand has been drawn. Aponte's jab and power punches are keeping Rivera at bay.
Sweet two-punch combination, beginning with the right to the body, then going upstairs to the left. Just over a minute to go here in round 3. Aponte trying to connect with an overhand right. Rivera slips. No, Aponte knocked down his opponent on that Canelo Triple G undercard, Fernando Angel Molina, early on. Then he tasted the canvas himself for the first time. First time he said he's ever been hurt in his life, not just as a pro. That first moment as he digs to the body again with the right against Rivera. Protect yourself at all times. Sparker Lee breaks him up. I'm wondering what those moments are like, though, the very first time that you're rocked as a fighter.
Well, hopefully you remember it and you don't wake up in the locker room. Obviously, that didn't happen to Aponte, so it's something that happens. I mean, especially as you step up in competition, eventually you're going to get hit by guys. Guys are very, very talented. They hit very hard, so it's something you're going to have to deal with. Every good fighter's been hurt before. It's just what you do after that fact. Ooh, good body shot there from Aponte.
Right hand lands, so does a left hook. As the bell sounds, and Aaron Aponte having his way with the impact shots against Josh Rivera.
Fun opening fight.
Rivera, a game and tough fighter. That split draw in September between Aponte and Molina.
That's one thing, a lot of young fighters, they want to fight in these big cards. You want to fight in Canelo's undercard, but guess what? You got to fight tough fighters on those cards. And Aponte learned that night as well.
And Aponte's manager, Peter Kahn, said that that was such a good match and really a terrific product of quality matchmaking. Both fighters want to do a rematch, but they agreed to push it down the road where a regional title could possibly be at stake. So we could see a rematch between Aponte and Fernando Molina.
Aponte's got to get through Rivera first. This Joshua Rivera is not going to make it an easy night, and there's still a long way to go.
We were wondering what was behind the 8-1 record of Joshua Rivera. Again, all of his previous 9 fights coming in the Tijuana area, but he's shown to be very durable here in the opening bout on Before the Bell as we kick off round 4.
Durable and game. You know, he's been getting tattooed since round number 1, but he has not stopped coming forward, stopped trying to make the fight happen.
Continues to walk in the line of fire. That is the left hook from Aaron Aponte as another lands. Good movement from Rivera, slipping through some of those punches, getting close to Aponte.
You know, Aponte was having so much success early on with the combinations. Now it's more one punch at a time. He's looking for big shots. I know he wants the knockout, but he's going to get it through combination punches, not just single shots.
The most likely scenario of it coming is when it's going to be after Aponte continues to wear his opponent down.
Yeah, absolutely, especially when you got a guy like Rivera who's face first, really. He's coming in, he's walking through shots. He's been waiting in all night long, getting hit by the longer, stronger Aponte.
Ooh, big overhand right connects on the chin of Rivera. Aponte tries to go back.
Aponte needs to get on that jab, be consistent, let those hands go, and then land the big shot. First time in the fight that Josh Rivera has not pushed forward. Maybe one of those shots affected him.
The overhand right moments ago might have been the most impactful punch of the fight so far from Aponte.
There's that jab again. Ooh, beautiful shot.
Splits the guard of Rivera.
We can hear those at ringside. Those are snapping. Ooh, good body shot there from Josh Rivera.
There's the counter punching from Aponte, but it's that jab. You're going to be in the right lane if you're able to continue working off that jab.
Absolutely. I mean, it sets up everything. It's not only a rangefinder, it does damage, but what it does is it hides the power shot. When you got a guy like Aaron Aponte who's a 76-inch reach for a super lightweight, you hide that right hand with a jab, and you're going to put some guys to sleep.
There it is, the jab straight to the left hook.
Ooh.
Not bouncing away from the same hand. And this is something that Aponte is subconscious about. He knows that he needs to work off the jab, but for a young fighter, it's about that mentality clicking when you're in the heat of battle.
No, it's consistency. You know, he's still young in his pro career. You learn these things as you go, as you get more rounds, as you develop and mature as a fighter.
End of the fourth, where some of the biggest punches from Aaron Aponte took place.
Some action from round number 4 here. We see it's mostly one-way traffic as Aaron Aponte lands big right-hand shots all round, set up by the jab, snapping Josh Rivera's head back throughout. I got the sense in that round that Aaron Aponte is really pulling away. He's been winning each round on my scorecard, but that one he actually put some hurt on Rivera. He stopped pushing forward as much. Seemed like the punches are starting to have an effect.
Joshua Rivera being worked on in his corner. A one-loss fighter out of Southern California, making his U.S. debut in his dream venue here at Madison Square Garden. It's the start of round 5 between Aaron Aponte and Joshua David Rivera, scheduled for 8 at 140 pounds. Aaron Aponte trying to turn in a big performance here in New York City.
I think he can if he builds off what he did in that last round. Landing good jabs, good power shots, and it just seems like he's starting to break Rivera down. Good try with the uppercut there, just misses.
Just scraped him. Good combo out of the clinch.
Yeah, we both mentioned that uppercut that Aponte tried moments ago. That's a great weapon against a shorter opponent who comes in. He's so heavy over his front foot. He's right there for the uppercut. I'd like to see Aponte stick to that and make it work. Nice double left hook, body head combination there.
The door was somewhat closed downstairs, and Aponte capitalized with the open shot to the chin of Rivera with that left.
You know, when he's got that reach advantage, the guy pulls away, he's still in range. So that's a great tool for Aponte to doubling up that left hand. Ooh, good body shot there from Rivera.
Rivera hanging tough here in this opening bout on Before the Bell.
Rivera's definitely no slouch. I mean, he's been taking some big shots. He's obviously in great shape. You can't take punches like this.
Rivera suffered his first pro defeat last March, came back in a rematch against the same opponent, didn't leave it up to chance in Tijuana, and came away victorious in that rematch. And here he is trying to pull off the biggest win of his young pro career. One of the aspects of Aaron Aponte's game, something that he makes a point to mention, is his footwork. It's something that he continues to work on. I don't think he's ever satisfied with the movement of his feet, but he knows it's a big pillar of his boxing ability, and he's always aware whether or not he's flat-footed as he digs into the body with the left, then comes back upstairs.
Good work to the body there. Definitely dug that in under the rib. Followed with a straight right hand down the middle. Yeah, Justin, you mentioned footwork, and I always say the two hardest things to learn in boxing are footwork and defense. It's easy to teach a guy how to punch. It's very hard to teach him how to defend against a punch.
Rivera moving out of the way of the jab from Aponte. Rivera coming in, able to scrape Aponte with the left hook. As the closing moments arrive here in round 5.
Aponte's punch output went down a little bit this round after having a great round 4.
One of the rare 3-punch combos from Aaron Aponte coming at the end of the 5th round. It's been good punch output. We've mostly seen, though, the punch combos not grow past 2-punch combos.
Yeah. I mean, he was throwing more punches in combination early, and he was able to catch Rivera on the way in the inside, especially with the left hook. He was throwing that 1-2-3 combination where that hook was landing beautifully. He's gotten away from that the last couple rounds, more loading up. Here we see some action from that last round. Good body shot, digs. digs the elbow into the rib cage of Rivera. Even those shots that hit your elbow, when they hit you, they still hurt, even though they're partially blocked.
The Hulu Theater here at MSG continues to fill up in anticipation of the rest of our Before the Bell action and the main card coming up at 8 p.m. Eastern on DAZN. Leading up to Amanda Serrano and Erika Cruz for the undisputed crown at 126 pounds. Here it's the start of round 6, a 140-pound tilt. Aaron Aponte in the black trunks trying to improve to 7-0-1 against Joshua Rivera, looking to come out victorious in his U.S. debut.
Rivera came out like this was round 1 again. Amanda Aponte right in the middle of the ring, let both hands go, landed some good body shots, being very aggressive here in round number 6.
This was the part of Aponte's last fight where Angel Molina was able to take him into unfamiliar territory. It was interesting to watch how Aponte responded. He did a pretty solid job closing out that 8-round fight against Molina. And he's going to try and do the same here, but Rivera testing him.
Yeah, I had mentioned I thought that Aponte's output went down a little bit in the 5th round. I wonder if Rivera sensed that and wanted to come out with a strong 6th. The corner of Aponte is calling for the right hand, telling to aim right for his chest, which is a smart instruction against a smaller opponent who's aggressive like that. You want to aim lower, not higher.
What could that lead to?
Shot right on the chin. You don't want to aim too high on the head when someone's forward like that. A lot of times you hit a guy high on the head, you can hurt your hand. Aim a little bit lower, aim for the chest, you end up hitting him on the chin instead.
Good body shot downstairs from Aponte.
Yeah, that looked like that affected Rivera.
The lead left hand, the most dangerous for Aaron Aponte. Final minute of round 6.
See Aponte getting loose here, using his footwork a little bit, fighting with his hands down, jabbing from the outside. Obviously feels comfortable with the defense against Rivera. You can see fatigue is setting in for both men. It's been a high output since round number 1.
It's been full throttle those first 5 rounds for sure. Good action. A lot of highlight shots to the body of each fighter. Here in round 6, like Chris mentioned, the pace slowing down just a bit. Good double left from Rivera. A slower pace 6 perhaps could breathe a little bit of life into Joshua Rivera.
Yeah, he came out strong in the beginning of that round, but definitely faded as the round wore on. And Aponte was just kind of status quo, you know, workmanlike, going out there, out fighting his man at every step.
See how he's able to respond in the 7th. So interesting, the juxtaposition between two corners. You have one corner in Rivera who probably feels, hey, they have a chance here after that type of round. Then you have Aponte's corner, more reserved, more calm. Hey, this is right where we want them.
Yeah, hey, we're good. Just go out there and keep doing what you're doing.
Start of round 7 here, scheduled for 8 at the Hulu Theater at MSG.
Good use of the word juxtaposition there, partner. I think some people at home are probably going to go check that out on Wikipedia.
It's the 2023 opener. We've had these reserved now this entire month and a half off, my friend.
Someone got a thesaurus for Christmas this year, huh? Oh, nice check hook there as he stepped back from Aaron Aponte.
Quality exchanges in the opening 30 seconds of round 7. Aponte going right back to work. Oh, overhand right. Coming up with some thunder from Aaron Aponte.
Rivera definitely felt that one. Big shot over the top, hit land high on the head. Aponte's been looking for that all night long. He finally connected.
Rivera continuing to charge forward. That jab, though, setting up Aponte well. Aponte said he's been refining that straight right hand. The left hook's obviously always been there, but he said to look out for those 2 punches here tonight. Those are his 2 best.
And when he throws it straight, it's a nice punch, but he's been, ooh, good clash of heads there. Aponte not complaining. Usually the taller man is the worse for wear in that situation, but no damage.
Again, Aponte 6 feet even for a 140-pounder, 76-inch reach for the South Florida native.
And apparently makes weight pretty easy. Came in well under the junior welterweight division. He was 138 pounds.
Aponte, the 5-time national champ. Another right hand landing from Aponte as he goes back on his heels. Another counter right.
Yep, that pullback right hand has been successful since round number 1. See, this is where, yeah, so Aponte should be jabbing. He's got the range. Rivera's just hanging out at the end of his punches, so he could be hitting him all night long.
Good throw back into the corner from Aponte, unleashing a 2-punch combo. Joshua Rivera needing to be cautious here as he comes in with those punches. The punch reaction, a little subpar. And that's something that he said led to his first defeat back last March. He said he cleaned that up in his last fight, the rematch back in October, but Aponte, a different caliber opponent than Edgar Ahumada in Mexico.
Yeah, I was going to say, this is an entirely different man in front of him.
The big step up in competition for Joshua Rivera, and Aaron Aponte showing him why through 7 rounds.
Boom, there's that big overhand right set up by Aaron the Alien Aponte. Shot that he's been looking for all night long. Finally found his range. That pullback straight right hand has been working since round number 1. Also the left hook. Mostly single shots, but starting to land better and better.
Aponte receiving final instructions as he gets ready to go out for the 8th and final round from his father, Raniel Aponte. Here we go, 8th and final round of our opening bout. Aaron Aponte trying to get back in the win column to begin 2023, coming off his split draw decision against Fernando Molina back in September. Good right hand from Aponte, again, moving backwards as Rivera comes forward.
Yeah, Aaron came out firing that jab hard in the first round, throwing combinations. This is the fight that he could have fought every round of this fight.
Aponte 6-0-1, trying to get his 7th pro win. Rivera at 8-1, 3 knockouts. He has proven to be very durable here against the former 5-time amateur national champ.
Nice movement there from Aponte. Moves to his right and then cuts to his left, fires a combination.
Dumps a left hook to the body of Rivera. The left hook has been there all fight for Aaron Aponte. The right hand at times making an impact. Again, Rivera looking tough, eating those punches, absorbing the damage. Oh, another left hook from Aponte.
Yeah, Rivera, I mean, we pretty much saw in the first minute of the first round what kind of fighter he is. He comes forward. He doesn't have a lot of dimensions to him. He's just going to come forward and bang. You're going to hit me. I'm going to try and hit you. Aponte is just on a different level.
Big chin turner from a right-hander by Aponte.
Combination attempt there from Aponte.
Aponte fights orthodox, but he's a left-hander. Half Cuban, half Argentinian. Another right hand by the 6-foot, 140-pounder. We kept hearing Aponte, only 21, only 7 fights underneath his name, yet the competition pretty stiff as a young pro. As another right hand demolishes Josh Rivera, but again, standing tall is the Southern Californian, taking these punches. Aponte, though, really acing this test coming out of that split draw.
Yeah, you know, he's got the perfect foil in front of him. He's got a guy who's not going to be hard to find. He's going to come forward. He's going to press the action. He didn't have to chase him at all tonight. Aponte really getting work things out with Rivera in front of him like this.
Ooh. Aaron Aponte making his mark here in New York City, and he could be in line for a clean shutout on the cards. A quality start to 2023 for the Alien King, Aaron Aponte. So you see Joshua David Rivera back in his corner. Aponte going to his corner. His head trainer and father, Reniel Aponte. Mike Robles by his side. His manager, Peter Kahn. And there is Rivera, who proved to be extremely tough here in the opening battle before the bell.
Yeah, extremely tough, but definitely overmatched, completely outskilled, outworked all night long. The bigger, cleaner punches throughout were from this man right here, Aaron Aponte. I don't know about you, but I have it, a complete shutout for Aaron. Hard pressed to find a round to get to Rivera.
Same here, 10-9 across the board for Aponte. We'll see what the judges saw as they watched this from ringside over 8 rounds of action here at the Hulu Theater at MSG. Coming up next, we will have Harley Medeiros of Brooklyn taking on Julio Madera, another durable fighter. And then 3 straight title matches in women's boxing here on Before the Bell. All leading up to the main card tonight on DAZN, the main event for the Undisputed Championship at 126 pounds. Amanda Serrano and Erika Cruz. The co-feature, another undisputed clash. Alicia Baumgartner taking on Ellen Mechalad. Here, we have concluded our first match on Before the Bell. Ready for the judges' scorecards. Let's make it official with David Diamante.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 8 rounds of action here at the Hulu Theater at Madison Square Garden, we go to the judges' score totals. They read as follows. Ron McNair, Alan Nace, and Martha Tremblay all scored this bout identically, 80-72. The winner by unanimous decision. He's still undefeated, Aaron, the Alien King Aponte.
Clean sweep for Aaron Aponte as he improves to 7-0-1. See the 2 fighters congratulating one another. And a very entertaining opening bout here on Before the Bell. As Aponte comes away victorious, starts his 2023 off on the right foot. Big takeaways from Aaron Aponte's performance.
You know, he's back in the win column. Although we didn't lose his last fight, he's coming off a draw. But you could tell he was working on things in there tonight. He had someone in front of him who was not hard to find. Rivera was coming right in the front door, and Aaron Aponte was cracking him on the way in. Big right hands, good left hooks, used the jab at times, sometimes combinations, which I think he could do more of. More jabs, more combinations, but I think he did a really good job of maintaining the range so he can land those big shots from the outside. had some good countering opportunities. Definitely been working on some things. He's shown tonight that I have not seen from him in the past, but I think are going to be really important for him if he's going to move on and move up.
Aaron Aponte's really fun in a fighters meeting because from a broadcaster's perspective, he outlines everything that he works on in a specific training camp. You ask him, hey, what's the latest thing you've been working on? He goes into detail. It's really helpful, obviously, on our end, but it's also great to see when you know that checklist for it to be kind of come complete over the course of a fight as you're watching. For Aaron Aponte, that has to be the ultimate level of satisfaction.
Yeah, I mean, he says he wants to stay busy. He wants 4 fights this year. You know, that's a lot of fights. So that means he's living the lifestyle. He's staying in the gym. He's working on things. So I expect him, after this fight didn't take any damage, he's going to go right back to the drawing board, right back to work in the gym, and we're going to see a more improved Aaron Aponte down the road.
Aaron Aponte improving to 7-0-1 here before the bell, and he's 2 for 2 inside the Hulu Theater here at MSG. Leading up to the main event tonight here on DAZN, the entire time that we've been focused on this fight date for the Undisputed Featherweight Championship between Amanda Serrano and Erika Cruz, it's really tough to not look ahead as far as being a fight fan goes. If you ask Amanda Serrano, she's going to say, no, my main objective here, taking care of 126. And she mentioned over the course of fight week, after kind of being pulled around in every direction in terms of weight classes, here she is at 126, the weight class she kind of considers her signature weight class. So to try and become undisputed in your weight class, how much could this be synonymous, or could this be maybe the main thing that people identify with Amanda Serrano when it's all said and done for the Puerto Rican?
I don't know. She's a 7-time world champion. She's been in so many different weight classes. I agree with her. This is her best weight class. This is where I think that she, in terms of making the weight and feeling strong and being able to push the gas tank, I think this is her best weight class. She's going to have. She's normally at a size disadvantage when she's fighting at 35, even at 30. So here I think is her true weight class. But listen, there's history to be made here. This is a big deal. She might say like, oh, you know, this is where I belong, but it might not matter. It matters. It matters. And you know, and also the other thing, the elephant in the room that you're talking about is Katie Taylor. You know, because that's on everyone's mind. She has to give you that answer. I'm focused on this. But not only is it in the back of our minds, it's in the back of her mind as well.
Katie Taylor is going to be in the building tonight to watch Amanda Serrano and Erika Cruz. Whether or not the two meet face-to-face in a rematch later this year, that is the big question that everyone wants answered. And they would like to see an answer maybe as soon as tonight if Serrano comes away victorious. The venue in Katie Taylor's home country of Ireland, that has been up for debate, making some headlines this week. And an interesting celebrity, individual outside of the boxing stratosphere offered a helping hand to Matchroom Chairman Eddie Hearn. That's Conor McGregor, who last night said that he would maybe perhaps foot some of the bill, pick up the tab on certain aspects if a fight could be landed at Croke Park. Eddie Hearn responded on Twitter, said, hey, I'm in your DMs, pal. Eddie Hearn caught up with our Matchroom staff as we get the latest between he and Conor McGregor.
Well, Eddie, we know Katie Taylor is in New York for tonight's big fight. The Twitter sphere went into overdrive somewhat. A certain Mr. Conor McGregor put his name out there to potentially sponsor a fight for Katie in Ireland. DMs were exchanged. What can you tell us is the latest?
No, it was like, you know, as a sort of fight sports fan, when you see on your feed Conor McGregor now follows you, sort of wondering what's going on here. And then obviously I saw all the posts going backwards and forwards. Smart marketing for Proper 12, but also obviously a passionate Irishman who loves Katie Taylor and wants to see her accomplish her dream, which is 1, to fight in Ireland, and 2, to potentially do it at Croke Park. So we talked, he wanted the background, you know, why would it cost so high? What could we do about it? Was there an opportunity, obviously, for Proper 12 as well? There's a little bit of beef. Obviously, you got Conor McGregor with Katie Taylor and Jake Paul with Amanda Serrano. And I think Conor's main priority is to try and see history made in Ireland. So, yeah, we went backwards and forwards. We're going to speak again this week. I may well fly to Ireland this week as well for a few meetings. And, you know, he talked about the process for Katie Taylor, which is, you know, is it 3 Arena and then Croke Park, or do we try and find a way to make Croke Park happen in May? We know there are obstacles there. Whatever happens, Katie Taylor's next fight will be in Ireland, and you know, it's very helpful to have a chat with a champ and see what he could do to help.
So was it an actual chat over the phone, or was it just...
No, just DMs. I said that I could pop to Ireland this week to sit down and meet him and talk about, you know, obviously any way that we could make it happen. I think as an Irishman, as a fighter, he would love to see an event at Croke Park, and he would love to see Katie get her night. She will get her night, you know, whether it's in May or whether it's in September. But obviously the priority is to make sure that Katie Taylor fights in Ireland next, and probably the one after. You know, maybe we end her career from here in Ireland.
And does this development somewhat change the landscape? I think he was quoted on Ariel's show midweek saying Croke Park's potentially slipping away a little bit.
I don't know. Look, there's a long way to go. You know, I think the costs are the costs. You know, we do have our TV date, which is May the 20th. And we'll see what happens next week. But, you know, the priority is to see what happens tonight, in all honesty. I mean, everybody's talking about Taylor Serrano too. Erika Cruz has got different ideas. If Erika Cruz wins tonight, I don't see Taylor Serrano too. And then you bring in Alicia Baumgardner and you bring in Chantel Cameron, because you know, that's the remit that we've had from Katie Taylor. Serrano, Cameron and Baumgardner, that's the fights that I'm interested in. You know, and potentially 2 of those could be undisputed to join Chantel Cameron tonight.
Yeah, like you say, there is business to attend to first and foremost, and maybe Erika feels a bit overlooked in this fight. Is that fair to say?
I don't think so. I think she's really kept herself to herself. You know, she's got a very close team with her father. She's very proud. She's a tremendous fighter. Serrano's going to do everything she said she'll do. She's going to come out. She's going to go at Cruz from the first bell. It's going to be a tremendous fight. You presume that Amanda is focused on this fight. You know, there has been negotiations going on behind the scenes. Obviously, Katie Taylor's here in New York to watch. Will there be an announcement tonight if Serrano is victorious? Maybe. But right now, Serrano, I don't think even wants to go down that line. She just wants to focus on making history and becoming the first Puerto Rican undisputed world champion tonight.
We will be watching and waiting with bated breath as Amanda Serrano and Erika Cruz tilt later tonight for the undisputed featherweight championship on DAZN. We are ready to go for our next match here on Before the Bell. Let's go back inside the ring with David Diamante.
Ladies and gentlemen, from the Hulu Theater here at Madison Square Garden, live on DAZN, we are set to go with a special lightweight attraction. Set to make his ring walk, please welcome Julio Duro Madera.
Julio Madera, 24 years of age, from Mexico City, and he is 4-2 with 3 knockouts. He's coming off a 3rd-round TKO victory over Hugo Mondragon on September the 10th in Mexico, but we watched him last March on the Chocolatito Martinez undercard against Mark Castro. And Madera, he lost that match to Castro over 6 rounds, but he opened some eyes when he put Castro down with a counter left hook in the first half of that fight. Madera is back on a Matchroom card. He said he's looking to apply some of the lessons that he learned from the Castro fight. He's an aggressive fighter who can counterpunch well, and he is looking to score his first win in the United States.
And now making his way to the ring, please welcome the young, undefeated Brooklynite, Harley Maderos.
There is Harley Dennis, the menace Maderos. He is experiencing something right now that he believed was indescribable. The Brooklyn native is making his first ever ring walk inside Madison Square Garden. Maderos came here countless times to watch boxing matches growing up, and now he is in one himself. He's 4-0, 3 KOs, coming off a first-round knockout win over Aaron Hollis in September. We saw Maderos make quick work of Eduardo Esparza on the Kiyoguchi Bermudez undercard back in Mexico in June, and he's looking to showcase his power once again as he competes in his first 6-round fight in front of 130-plus family and friends at the Garden.
Ladies and gentlemen, from here in the Hulu Theater inside Madison Square Garden, live on DAZN, we are set to go with a special lightweight attraction, and it's all being brought to you courtesy of Mr. Eddie Hearn of Matchroom Boxing. We're sponsored by Stagefront, Crowd RX, and Renaissance. Your 3 judges scoring this contest from ringside: from Connecticut, Ken Ezzo; from New York, Kevin Morgan; and from Massachusetts, Martha Tremblay. At the sound of the bell, your 3rd man in the ring from New Jersey, referee Eric Daly. And now, ladies and gentlemen, 6 rounds of boxing scheduled in the lightweight division. Introducing first, Fighting out of the red corner, we're in the green with gold trim. He scaled 133.6 pounds. His professional record, 4 victories against 2 defeats. He has 2 wins coming by way of knockout. He fights out of Mexico City, Mexico. Please welcome Julio Duro Madera. Madera. And his opponent across the ring fighting out of the blue corner. He wears the pink trunks with the red trim. He scaled 134.2 pounds. His young professional record thus far perfect. 4 fights, 4 victories, 3 of them coming by way of knockout. He fights out of Brooklyn, New York, USA. Please welcome Harley Maderos. Maderos.
Okay, gentlemen, you already know the rules. Let me remind you to keep it clean, protect yourself at all times, and obey my commands at all times. Touch gloves. Good luck to both of you. Thank you.
Keep it clean is kind of like a prerequisite from the third member in the ring before any fight, but here it could be an all-out brawl right from the get-go, Chris. I know you were excited to watch this one between Harley Maderos and Julio Madera, who you see in your blue trunks. Maderos in the pink, and he is swinging wild out of the gate.
Yeah, this fight has the recipe to be the show stealer of the Before the Bell series tonight. Both these kids are very talented, very tough, and are coming to win.
Maderos has made quick work of all of his opponents so far, and he's been doing it with the signature left hook and the overhand right. But Madera might be a different breed of class of opponent that he's faced so far. They call him Duro for a reason.
Oh, man, Maderos has landed some big shots. You know, Maderos, he doesn't throw a lot of straight punches. He's a loopy overhand right, left hooker, but he's got a great judge of range. He knows where the end of his punches are, so those circular shots like that are very dangerous.
You know what? You've mentioned those 2 shots. They kind of come from wide angles. The advice there is utilize the jab. We're seeing it a little bit more here in the beginning compared to some of his other fights.
Yeah, I mean, he's finding the range of the jab first and then throwing those looping shots, and he's putting Madera exactly where he wants him.
Madera coming back with a jab. He would describe himself as an aggressive counterpuncher, but he had no answer for that combo from Maderos. This is an opportunity for Harley Maderos to showcase some of the boxing ability that he says he possesses. A big reason why he had such a decorated amateur career as a youngster. Another overhand right.
You know, we saw in that Madera fight that we called together against Mark Castro, he's a very dangerous inside puncher. He's got very short, crisp shots, throws both hands well, good fundamentals. And that's exactly the kind of punches you're going to need to throw in order to beat those looping shots from Maderos.
Left hand lands from Maderos, comes back with a 2-punch combo and an overhand right. Wow. Perhaps Maderos sensing something here by Maderos. Maderos stumbling a little bit. And Harley Maderos walking toward Madera.
Maderos is throwing big heat with both hands. Definitely shook Madera up a little bit there with the overhand right.
Again, Julio Madera in the green trunks, Maderos in the pink.
You know, if you notice the footwork right now, Madera is moving into the power shot, into the right hand of Maderos. And the reason for that is Maderos has been so good with his jab this fight. To start the first 2 minutes of this fight, he's been landing great jabs. That's forcing Madera to change directions, and he's walking right into the right hand. Notice how he's moving to his left.
There's another one. Big left hand cracks Madera back. And Maderos swinging wild near the end of the opening round. Harley Maderos with some oomph in his punches in round number 1.
Great opening round for Maderos. Here we see those looping shots from Maderos. Was able to find his range immediately. There's the left hook that shook up Madera. You know, he's been landing good right hands, but it seems like it's the left hands that are having the most effect on Madera, just like there, stumbled him into the ropes at the end of the round. Medeiros going in for the finish, but couldn't land that last shot to get him down.
Here you see Yoel Judah, head trainer for Harley Medeiros, the father of the former world champ Zab Judah. What do you think Medeiros is smiling about in his corner after that first round?
I mean, he's got a lot to smile about. He landed a bunch of hard shots on a really tough guy and actually hurt him several times. So, you know, he's shown that he can check the chin of the normally very tough Duro.
Overhand right again lands for Medeiros, who has 3 knockouts in 4 pro fights. All 3 were recorded in the first round, and the fighter that he went the distance with, he knocked him down in the first round. So this is a little bit different already, even though Medeiros did a very, very solid job in that opening round. It's unfamiliar territory for the Brooklyn native.
Yeah, he's in total control now, controlling the center of the ring. Really landing at will. That left jab is setting everything up. We spoke about that in the fight prior with Aaron Aponte. If he could get that jab set, he would be able to land all those power punches. That's exactly what Medeiros is doing here.
Medeiros actually faced Aaron Aponte as an amateur. He beat Aaron Aponte. Medeiros, a 17-time national champion, 2023 Olympic alternate, trying to impress here in his MSG debut.
This is the best I've seen him jab in his young professional career. He has improved quite a bit since his pro debut.
3-punch combo, ending off with a solid left hook. Then going downstairs. Eric Daly says raise those punches to Harley Medeiros.
Some blood from the nose of Julio Madera. On the strength of those shots right there, the left hooks. Oh, big right hand.
And another overhand right by Medeiros.
Man, Madera's taking some really, really heavy shots.
Madera looking to be on some wobbly legs here. Another cracking right hand by Medeiros, coming back with the left hook.
Yeah, I don't know how much longer this fight's going to go. Madera just has no defense for any of these shots. Medeiros is landing at will. If Madeiros going to get in this fight, he's got to land something big soon. Get some respect, because Medeiros is running him over.
There's not been one punch thrown by Madera that has caught the attention of Harley Medeiros. Another sharp jab from Medeiros.
More blood from the nose.
Quick lift up. Massive left hook from Medeiros.
That's what I mean. He's landing at will. He loaded that shot up. He didn't hide it at all. He just loaded his left hand and landed it cleanly.
1-2 combo from Medeiros. Trying to load up on a 3-punch combo.
Yeah, Medeiros just too slow. Got one step behind Harley Medeiros right now. Oh, good shots on the inside again.
This is a great showing from Harley Medeiros so far through 2 rounds.
Here we see the setup by the jab. The jab, the jab, the jab. The overhand rights, the hooks are coming all off the jab, and that's why Madera has no defense for them. He's been blinded, he's shook by the jab, and then the overhand rights and left hooks are coming right behind him. Great stuff so far from Harley Medeiros.
Julio Madera breathing hard. He's shown on more than one occasion that he can take a punch, but Medeiros has looked extremely sharp with what he's doing in this match. But compared to what he's already accomplished and shown over his first 4 pro fights, this is the match where he's showing different elements of his skill.
Yeah, I had never seen this jab. I mean, his ability to judge the range and control the man in front of him. I mean, this is probably his toughest opponent thus far, and by far his best showing.
I'm not saying this is the reason why you're seeing the jab, but it kind of makes for a nice storyline. You know who advised him to use the jab here against Julio Madera?
Oh, who's that?
Mark Castro.
Look at that.
His former junior Olympic teammate. Overhand right from Medeiros. Madera caught on the ropes. And Medeiros, again, swinging with accuracy.
Madera actually landed a good left hook there. Didn't really stop Medeiros, though. Yeah, it's nice when you can just phone a friend who already fought the guy that you're fighting and be like, hey, what should I do? Throw your jab. Oh, okay.
Oh, right uppercut from Madera. And Medeiros perhaps taking his foot off the pedal slightly here in round 3.
Man, if there was any question about the grit of Madera, I mean, it's being answered tonight. He's getting hit with some massive shots.
A Mexican fighter who keeps his hands up, he comes forward, he's durable. And you are right, he has absorbed some damage here through the first 2 rounds of change. Harley Madera, again loading up and landing a right hand.
That jab, man, that thing is laser focused tonight. Busting up the nose of Madera, setting up the right hands. And keeping him right where he wants him. Madera has the reach advantage, but Medeiros has been in total control of the range.
Madera landing a right hand moments ago.
You see the face of Julio Madera, all marked with blood, marked up, bruised. Harley looks like he's barely been in a fight.
What makes the jab more impressive is the angle that it's coming from.
Yeah.
It's not like Medeiros is keeping his hand up here.
No, absolutely. He's finding holes. And Julio Madera has good hand position. He keeps his hands up, but the punches are going right through and around, just like that. Harley's doing a great job slipping inside, firing up, firing over the top. He's being creative with his jab.
Medeiros saying he sold over 130 tickets for his friends and family to come here into the Hulu Theater at MSG. Never fought here as an amateur. They had the Golden Gloves in Brooklyn by the time he started to compete there. So this is a bucket list moment for Harley Medeiros. Another 1-2 combo from the Menace.
Seems to be taking full advantage of that opportunity to show out for his friends and family, because he's looking very sharp tonight.
Can he continue this level of performance over the next 3 rounds, or will he be able to pick up stoppage number 4 as a pro? Another solid round from Harley Medeiros.
Yeah, very comprehensive paint job so far from Harley Medeiros. Here we see, again, each round's looking like the round prior. Big shots, hard jabs, big left hooks that are wobbling Madera, really just landing at will. There we saw Madera landed that shot on the ropes. And even to close the round, Medeiros landed a little shot just after the bell. Adding a little insult to injury there at the end of the round.
Madera's cut man, Manuel Calderon Diablo, having his hands full in this fight. As we get ready to go for round 4, scheduled for 635 pounds. And Eric Daly get a call for time at the start as Madera takes a trip to the doctor to get examined here.
3 doctors looking at him right now. Hard to tell from our vantage point. Doesn't look like too much damage, but long conversation in the corner with the doctors.
Madera won't be given much of a leash here. Medeiros utilizing the jab. It's the best performance so far with the jab for the Brooklyn native. Trying to improve to 5-0 here at the Garden.
Julio Madera he's in there and he's trying. He's just outgunned right now. Medeiros is having his way, fighting in his range, letting go with his power punches, using that jab to set everything up beautifully, and not getting hit. Top to bottom, a very good performance so far.
3-punch combo attempt from Medeiros. Now going to the body with the jab. Oh, big overhand right by Medeiros. Then he slips through a couple of counters for Madera.
Hit and don't be hit. That's the name of the sport. And that's what Harley Medeiros is doing right now. There's that up jab again.
Another three-punch combo. Madera trying to hang tough, holding on with some counters. And we go back to the middle of the ring.
And I will say about Julio Madera, he doesn't have the body language of a beaten man. He's in there, he's still trying, he's outgunned, he's getting beat from pillar to post, but he's trying.
24-year-old from Mexico City, comes from a tight-knit family. They gave him his full support for his boxing career. Has two brothers. His older brother was the one who introduced him to the sport of boxing when he was 13. Again, opened a lot of eyes with how he put down Mark Castro last March in San Diego. And he lives up to his nickname, Duro.
Yeah, from what I saw in the Mark Castro fight, I was expecting a lot more out of Julio Madera, but honestly, I don't want to take anything from Harley. I think he's just performing really, really well tonight, something I've never seen from him up until this point, but man, he's really putting it together.
This has been a perfect change of pace type performance for Harley Medeiros compared to his other fights, and we've seen different elements, different dimensions from the Brooklyn native.
Yeah, I really like what I'm seeing. Very smart. And he's not taking any breaks either. Even when it seems like he's taking a break, he's really looking, setting the distance, drawing a line in the sand.
All that being said, for his first 6-round fight as a pro, and backing away now. Oh, right uppercut from Medeiros.
And switching things up. I haven't seen many uppercuts from him tonight, and then he throws a beautiful one. Oh, man, that left hook.
Damaging shots. They continue in round 4 from Harley Medeiros. Second fight here on Before the Bell, and already the crowd forming for Cruz and Serrano later tonight for the undisputed featherweight championship. Harley Medeiros with a Puerto Rican background as well. His father born in Cuba, his mother is Puerto Rican, but he has been New York born and bred. It is going to be Puerto Rico versus Mexico in that main event. Nothing like a garden party. Start of round 5, again scheduled for 6 at lightweight between Harley Medeiros in the pink trunks and Julio Madera in the green.
Oh, good left hook there to the body from Julio Madera. Fought Medeiros.
Some swelling on the right side of the face of Madera, along with the bloody nose.
You know, a lot of times he probably has a busted nose. When you bust your nose, your eyes tend to swell.
Oh, 3-punch combo. The last 2 landing flush from Harley Medeiros. Now he goes to the body. Madera counters with a left.
Ooh, big shot.
Big brawl, center of the ring.
Yeah, Medeiros, he wants to finish here. He's standing his ground. He's allowing himself to get hit a little bit because he wants to land his own big shots. That's been a key all night long. The jab with the right hand over the top, been landing at will.
That one,
there it is again.
Smothering Madera at close range.
Oh.
Medeiros backing up just a little bit. The up jab.
Loving that shot.
We've seen the up jab. We've seen the snap uppercut from the same angle. Everything working for Harley Medeiros.
I like that dip hook that he's been throwing. I want him to keep that right hand up too, though, because he does throw it and he is wide open. He's been countered a few times, but that's a beautiful shot.
Does that jab angle only work against a certain type of opponent?
No, so that's a great question. I just see what Harley Medeiros is doing is he's just finding an opening. If he had to move his head the other way, I believe he would. It's just that he's so open up the middle is Julio Madera. He just slips inside and fires that shot up. I mean, it's been working all night long. There's not really a reason to change it.
Madera walking into a left hand moments ago.
Good shot there from Julio.
Step back, no punch.
Julio Madera looks like a beaten man, but he refuses to be beaten.
Yeah, I mean, his face is beaten, but like I said, his body language isn't. He's still going in there. He landed a good left hook earlier, probably the best punch he's landed all night. Still coming forward. Too tough for his own good, you might say.
Nevertheless, it's also giving Medeiros a great test here. These last 2 rounds aren't going to be something where he can just walk through casually.
Yeah, I don't think he thought that Madera would be here at this point with all the shots that he was landing as early as round number 1. I like young fighters getting rounds. I really do. I think this is a great time to learn, especially in your first 5-10 fights. You're learning every fight. The more time you spend in that ring, the more you can learn, the more you can try out. I know everyone likes knockouts, but rounds are important.
Quality exchanges in round number 5 between Medeiros and Madera.
There's that 1-2-3 combination from Medeiros, that up jab. But I will say, Madera did get his own licks in that round, landed more punches that round than any other round prior, maybe every round combined, but still a strong round for Medeiros.
Yoel Judah giving Harley Medeiros direction here ahead of the final round, scheduled for 6. Again, Medeiros has got the distance just once so far in his early pro career, a 4-rounder. This is the 6th and final round of his first 6-round fight. Madero getting checked on by the doctors here. He has never been stopped early.
New York is one of the best commissions in the world, really. They really look after their fighters, make sure that nothing goes wrong. You know, I think those doctors are seeing what I'm seeing from ringside, and that Madera is taking a lot of punishment all night long.
They let him continue to start the 6th and final round against Harley Medeiros. The Bushwick kid making his MSG debut, 24 years of age, putting on a show for his family and friends, and that's going to do it. The target practice is over. Harley Medeiros making a statement in his MSG debut.
Yeah, when you've got the judges looking at a fighter so intently in between each round, it's going to alert the ref that they really need to pay attention. We don't want somebody getting hurt. You know, doctors may be seeing something, hearing something from the fighter. You know, that's just going to put the referee on that much more of an alert. That was probably the good move, to tell you the truth. Better to stop a fight too soon than too late.
Harley Medeiros will pick up his 4th early stoppage, I believe 25 seconds into the final round. As we take a look at the action from round 6 of those 25 seconds. Yeah, Eric Dolly's seen enough.
I understand the argument from Madera. I would argue as well, but I mean, from the outside looking in, partner, you saw what I saw. I mean, he was taking big shots all night long, was wobbled several times, was still in the fight, very much trying to win, but on my scorecard, hadn't won a round yet. And there was still 2 more minutes left to take damage that was unnecessary.
100% doing it before any more damage could be sustained. But I tell you what, there's a certain scenario where you'd want to watch Julio Madera again. Oh, yeah. For these younger prospects.
Yeah, no, we were both really impressed with him again in the Mark Castro fight. I was expecting, you know, a different kind of showing tonight, but I wouldn't mind seeing him again. I mean, he's going to be a good test for these young guys. But tonight, Harley Medeiros was just really on, super sharp, put on a fantastic performance. He really showed the world who he is tonight.
We're ready to make it official and wrap it up in the ring with David Diamante.
Ladies and gentlemen, referee Eric Dolly calls a halt to this contest. The official time of the stoppage, 25 seconds of round number 6. Your winner by TKO, he's still undefeated, Harley Medeiros.
Dennis the Menace Medeiros improving to 5-0. Perhaps this could be the most fulfilling win of his young pro career.
Living up to that name, Duro.
And David Diamante rightfully leading the crowd to applaud Julio Madera, who suffers his third defeat. And there you see Medeiros now 5-0, 4 knockouts to his name, but he knew it before during the fight week. He knew he kind of needed to answer a question against a more durable fighter. Could he harness that power and maybe pace himself a little more? He more than answered that question.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I was very impressed with him tonight. I mean, his judge of range, his ability to land his power punches, his use of the jab. He had a very, very clever jab, which he hasn't had to show yet in the pro ranks. Tonight he needed to. He had the toughest opponent in front of him, someone who had never been stopped. He went out there, he completely dominated, landed at well, and got his man out of there in the 6th round. You know, the referee stepped in to stop the fight. The doctors were looking very closely at Julio after each round, round 4, round 5, and finally the ref stepped in round number 6. He had seen enough punishment, stopped the fight, and Julio Medeiros gets the best win of his career by far.
We knew the punishment that Medeiros could put on his opponent with his left hook, with his overhand right. The jab, the most impressive punch of this fight, though.
Absolutely. I mean, his ability to mix it up and be creative with it. Slip on the inside and throw it. Slip to the outside and throw it. Set up his power punches. The way he was able to link the power shot onto the jab. I mean, that's what you want to see. That's beautiful progression for this young professional.
Harley Medeiros improving to 5-0, picks up his 4th KO as we have now wrapped up 2 fights here on our Before the Bell card. We still have 3 to go as we get you set for the main event tonight on DAZN. Amanda Serrano and Erika Cruz for the Undisputed Featherweight Championship. We haven't spent too much time on the co-feature there. Another undisputed fight. Our friend, Alicia Bumgarner, who we've seen here on Before the Bell with us plenty of times, the unified super featherweight champ, coming off a terrific performance against Michaela Mayer. Probably answered a lot of questions in her own right, but she's like this lead type fighter. You put her in more pressure situations over the last year plus, she's going to be coming out stronger, and I'm really interested to see what Alicia could do here with Undisputed right in front of her.
Yeah, I mean, the talent was always there. You know, her personality has really come out. We've been able to see her on the world stage, but also just, like you said, the better the competition, the better she's going to perform. I want to see her in these big fights. I want to see her with these named fighters. She deserves it at this point. She got the big win against Mayer. You know, she wants to keep moving. They had a great rivalry, but there's a lot of other girls out there that they could be fighting and making great fights.
Off the top of your head, who are some of the other fighters throughout history who you think have noticeably become stronger with the pressure-filled situations they face?
You know, I mean, I think there's a saying that once you win a title, you get like 30% better, whatever arbitrary number where that came from. But you know, they say that over the years. But I'm trying to think of fighters who really improved as you know, they got exposure and saw that pressure. I mean, me for one. Yeah, I was waiting for that. I got thrown in pretty early on, and you know, was always able to step it up. But yeah, no, that's part of it. You've got to be able to perform under those lights.
All right, coming up next, we have a WBC title eliminator, and it will be Elin Cederroos, the former IBF WBA super middleweight champ, who you see right there at yesterday's weigh-in. She is back in action, trying to get another crack at Undisputed. She's going to have to go through Shadeja Green, who is 11-0 with 10 knockouts. The power is real. And we know that those two fighters facing off, this is going to be a great test for Cederroos, obviously. This is going to be a terrific chance for Green to not only maybe test her power against a very tough fighter in Cederroos, but she is bullish on her boxing ability. It's something that she is yet to have a chance to show, and she says she's more in love with her boxing ability than her power. What are you most looking forward to in this?
Well, I would like to see that because I think she's going to need it. Cederroos is extremely tough. She beat Alicia Napoleon, and who was really streaking at that time, and she's very, very tough, Cederroos. So I do believe we're going to have to see that boxing skill from Green if she's going to be victorious tonight.
Shadeja Green is the latest signing from Most Valuable Promotion. That's Jake Paul's brand, and that was the site of her last fight on the Jake Paul Anderson Silver undercard. Many people may not be as familiar with Shadeja Green as several others in women's boxing. They say that she's boxing's best kept secret on the women's side. We're about to find out what she's made of here. The Paterson, New Jersey native getting ready to go for the WBC title eliminator against Elin Cederroos. We are moments away from the ring walks for Sadeja Green and Elin Cederus. There you see the belt in the middle of the ring. We have 3 more fights here on before the bell. Green, Cederus, Ramla Ali, and Avril Mathy going at it. 2 undefeated fighters there in an IBF regional belt event. And then the main event here on Before the Bell, Sky Nicholson looking to stay undefeated against Tanya Alvarez, the 21-year-old out of Spain. She's looking to make some history here, becoming the first Spanish woman to fight at Madison Square Garden. That's something that Sky Nicholson can relate to. Back in April on the Taylor Serrano card, Nicholson was the first Australian woman to fight here at MSG, as the crowd continues to fill up in anticipation of Serrano and Cruz. We mentioned Baumgartner, Mechalad, Ellen Mechalad, Erika Cruz. Throughout the entire fight week extravaganza, you have a lot of pomp and circumstance, rightfully so. It's a lot of fun. We have 2 undisputed events going on, but if you're Erika Cruz, right now, you are the WBA champ. Ellen Mechalad, you've had a decorated pro career, almost as if those 2 are being overlooked. You like that feeling, though, when you're being overlooked as a fighter?
I mean, depends what the fighter does with it. Me personally, that would piss me off, and it would force me to really focus in, dial in, and try and upset the apple cart. It's one of my favorite things to do. I love an underdog. I love an upset. So if I'm those 2 fighters, and if I feel like I'm being brushed over, that's going to make me step up and fight that much harder. There's
going to be 2 more cards, or 2 more events, I should say, on the main card coming up later tonight. We have the matchroom debut of 2020 Puerto Rican Olympian Yankel Rivera, as he takes on Jonathan Diaz. And then we also have Richardson Hitchens back here at the Garden in his home city against John Bauza. Those 2 created a lot of natural fireworks at the press conference earlier this week. I asked Richardson if there was really any previous animosity between those 2 before they took the stage. He said, no, not at all. Bottom line, we are now 2 for 2 in terms of matchroom press conferences, with Richardson Hitchens stealing the show. What are you expecting out of him tonight?
I mean, I'm not surprised. I've been in the gym and I sparred with Richardson a ton of times. You know, the guy likes to talk, and he's good at it. He's really good at it. So, and he can actually really fight too. So you put that trash talk with the skill set, I mean, the sky's the limit.
Richardson Hitchens coming into this fight at 15-0. We know he likes to talk. We read the headlines that he creates. Does that make tonight a proving point in his pro career?
Oh, absolutely. If you're going to talk the talk, you need to walk the walk. You're going to get a lot more eyes on you. It's the old Floyd Mayweather adage. You're either paying to see me win, or you're paying to see me lose. So when you talk the game like that, you're going to have a lot of people who are going to tune in and see you lose.
Amanda Serrano, Erika Cruz, 2 champions going at it. We heard Eddie Hearn talk about what it's going to take to kind of pull this off in Ireland between Katie Taylor and Amanda Serrano, a potential rematch at Croke Park. We're going to have more on that throughout Before the Bell, throughout the main card. We're going to see Katie Taylor tonight. She's going to be in the building for Serrano and Cruz. Amanda Serrano is somewhat of a mentor to one of the fighters we're going to see coming up next, and Sadeja Green in action with Elin Cederus here in a WBC title eliminator. We are ready to go for the ring walks. We go to David Diamante.
Ladies and gentlemen, from the Hulu Theater here in the world's most famous arena, Madison Square Garden, we are set to go with a special super middleweight attraction. Set to make the ring walk, please welcome Elin Cederus.
Here is the 38-year-old Elin Cederus, the former IBF and WBA super middleweight champion, now 8-1. And beginning the path back to potentially having another undisputed title opportunity with Franchon Cruz DAZN. The last time we saw Cederus in the ring was upstairs in the big room on April 30th. She lost her belts to DAZN by unanimous decision after trying to stand toe-to-toe with DAZN. Didn't show much defense in that fight. She told us earlier this week that she knows she has so much more to show, so much more boxing ability in her, and she plans on not holding any of it back tonight in this title eliminator.
And now entering the arena from Paterson, New Jersey, undefeated, the Sweet Terminator, Shadaysha Green.
33-year-old Shadaysha Green, she has been labeled as the best kept secret in women's boxing. 11-0, 10 knockouts. The power has been undeniable thus far, but Green says the boxing skills are there as well, and she is hoping Elin Cederroos will be willing to stay with her in the pocket in this match. After a Division I basketball career, Green represented USA Boxing at the World Championships. She turned pro a little over 4 years ago. She earned a 5th-round TKO over Oglenis Suarez in her latest match on October 29th, where her new promoter, Jake Paul, beat Anderson Silva, and the Paterson, New Jersey native, ready to show why she is the WBC's #1 contender at 168.
Ladies and gentlemen, from the Hulu Theater here inside the world's most famous arena, Madison Square Garden, live on DAZN, we are set to go with a special super middleweight attraction. And it's all being brought to you courtesy of Matchroom Boxing and MVP Promotions. We're sponsored by Stagefront, Crowd RX, and Renaissance Hotels. This bout is sanctioned under the auspices of the World Boxing Council, the president, Mauricio Suleiman, the supervisor is Bob Duffy, and the World Boxing Association. The president, Gilberto Jesus Mendoza, the supervisor is Julio Time. Introducing your 3 judges scoring this contest from ringside, all from the state of New York: John McKay, Ron McNair, and Tom Schreck. And at the sound of the bell, your 3rd person in the ring from Connecticut, referee Danny Schiavone. And now, ladies and gentlemen, 10 rounds of boxing scheduled for the WBC Silver, the vacant WBA Continental Americas, and the WBC and WBA Super Middleweight World Title Eliminator. Introducing first, fighting out of the red corner, wearing the black with the gold trim. She scaled 167.4 pounds. Her professional record, 8 victories, 1 defeat. She has 4 wins coming by way of knockout. She fights out of Västerås, Sweden. Please welcome the former WBA and IBF super middleweight champion of the world, Elin Cederroos. And her opponent across the ring, fighting out of the blue corner. She wears the black with the orange trim. She scaled 167.2 pounds. Her professional record, a perfect one. 11 fights, 11 victories, 10 of them coming by way of knockout. Here is the reigning, defending, and undefeated WBC Silver Super Middleweight Champion from Paterson, New Jersey. Please welcome the Sweet Terminator, Shadaysha Green.
Ladies, we went over the rules in the dressing room. I expect you to obey my commands at all times. Keep the bout clean. Touch them up. Go back to your corners. Good luck.
Elin Cederroos getting ready to go. After losing both her titles back in April, she is ready to go and get back on the path to undisputed. She wants a second crack at Erika Cruz DAZN. She said earlier this week she couldn't get out of her own head during that match. The adrenaline took over. She was fighting the whole way through, not boxing. As we get ready to go, Cederroos in the black and gold trunks, and Shadaysha Green out of Paterson, New Jersey, some 20 miles away from New York City in the black and orange.
I've heard a lot of good things about Shadaysha Green. Her ability, her power. I've seen Cederroos fight live. She's big and strong. She comes to fight. She's very durable. This is a big test for Green.
There's only a 2-inch difference in height between Cederroos and Green. Cederroos, the taller fighter, but she just has the ability with the wide shoulders as Green lands a jab. a big athletic frame. She really hulks over her opponents.
Yeah. You said it's only 2 inches. It looks way more than that. Serrano she's big for the weight class. She carries the weight really well. She's physically strong. This is an interesting matchup.
Green with the undefeated record, 11-0, 10 knockouts. Said the double left is where most of the power lies. But right now, it's Elin Cederroos in the opening round throwing the hands.
Yeah, I mean, Cederroos is controlling the pace. She's in the center of the ring. She's keeping Green on her, fighting off her back foot. Speed differential is definitely in the advantage of Green. You saw her, she flashed that quick left hook and some of those snappy jabs. But Cederroos is putting a lot of pressure.
Cederroos not afraid to stand in front of any opponent. She did so against Cruz DAZN in that unanimous decision defeat on April 30th. And Cederroos meaning business here in round number 1. See the corner of Shadeja Green, her trainer Barry Porter. Elin Cederroos, 38 years of age, getting helped up out of the stool by Alex Wennerston, her head trainer, as we get going for round number 2. Cederroos looking to put herself back in position for another shot at Undisputed. Sharp jabs upstairs and downstairs from Green to open up round 2. This one scheduled for 10.
Good right hand there from Cederroos. Timed that perfectly. Green took that well. That landed right on the chin.
Step back, that means.
Cederroos getting instruction from the referee, Danny Schiavone. Looping left hook from Cederroos. And now Green trying to come alive here with some action. Counter right hand. She may have stumbled Cederroos. Elin Cederroos. Looks like she recovered okay.
I was just about to say, Cederroos is really fighting heavy over that front foot. Her balance is all over the place, being really aggressive. I was waiting for a counter from Green. Yeah, look at her feet. Cederroos is all over the ring. Still being effective, but not making it pretty. Oh, good body shot there from Green.
The right hand for Shadeja Green.
You can see Shadeja, she's fighting off that back foot. She's looking for the counter. She's holding onto that right hand, waiting for the right time to let it go.
Green looking like the more calculative fighter over the first round and change here against Cederroos.
The Sweet Terminator. That's a new one. I've never heard that nickname before.
She's soft-spoken, speaks with a smile. Grew up in Paterson, New Jersey, but she really had a circuitous route to the Garden. Again, it's only 20 miles east of her hometown. Throughout much of her pro career, though, she's had a fight in Mexico and Colombia. See a better round out of Green, highlighted by that right hand.
Visit CrownRx.org to learn more about experienced medical coverage for your large capacity events. CrownRx, keep your event on the pinnacle. And before your next
Here, that's what I mean by Green fighting off that back foot, waiting to unleash that right hand. She did it there perfectly. First round, she was waiting too long. Wasn't able to get it off. I actually gave the first round to Cederroos, but that second round, she found her timing, was able to pull the trigger and land those shots that matter.
Cederroos fell to Franchon Cruz DAZN on the scorecards back on April 30th. 2 judges scored it 99-91, another 97-93. She tried to stand toe-to-toe with DAZN in that fight, right in front of her opponent. With DAZN coming forward, and as we begin round number 3, saw Green come forward in round number 2.
Yeah, Green, she's not a mover. You know, she's going to stand in there, but she's going to fight more off that back foot, lean on that back shoulder. She's going to shoulder roll. She's going to peekaboo. But she's looking to counter. She wants to land her own leather.
Green looking for her biggest win to date against the former champ.
Good jabs there from Green.
Trying to tag the right hand behind those jabs.
The thing about Serrano is, you know, she's big for the weight class. She's physically strong. But she has a high output. Her conditioning is actually very good, and she can do this all night long.
Serrano's world-class athlete. Before,
big shot. That hurt her.
Serrano's trying to retreat back to the center. Green, maybe touching blow to the water, and a thunderous right hand by Green. Well, the power is real.
Yep. 2 big hard shots. That second one was beautiful. Got her head offline. Crashing to the side of the head of Serrano's.
Roughly 35 seconds to play with for Green here in round 3.
Yeah, Serrano still looks like she's on shaky legs.
Green taking her time. The mark of a smart fighter here.
Yeah, I mean, she's a true counterpuncher by nature. So you can see that she's going to have to kind of sit back and wait to counter again.
Right hand to the body by Serrano.
Serrano's still throwing hard shots, though.
Shadejah Green putting Serrano, the former champ, down in round 3.
First knockdown of the night comes from the ladies. Here's that first right hand, started off the trouble, and then that big overhand shot. Dips her head off the line, throws the overhand right, goes right over the jab of Serrano, puts her down for an 8 count. Serrano's got up on shaky legs, but it seemed like she recovered pretty quick, was still throwing some heavy hands at the end of the round.
Green in her corner. Her head trainer, Arad Gist, Barry Porter as well. Porter's son, the former world champion Kendall Holt, also a Patterson product.
Kendall Holt, great champion. Speaking of great counterpuncher, Kendall Holt, he could punch with both hands.
There is rich boxing tradition in Patterson, New Jersey. Green trying to become the first female champion out of the Silk City. Double jabs from Green to open up the action in round 4.
I like what I'm seeing from Green. You know, her ability to move, fight off that back foot. She obviously has power in that right hand. And she believes in it, too.
Another right hand snaps Serrano's head back a little bit. Well, Green is getting what she wants. There's not going to be any chasing with Serrano. You're going to have her in the pocket. It's a matter of how you execute after that.
Yeah, I mean, Serrano's style is more mauling. She gets all over you. She throws a lot of punches. She's physically strong. She's big for the weight class. If Green can do enough damage while she's coming in and not take too much of this rough stuff in the inside, she's going to be in a good position.
Serrano's throwing some combos together. And a left hand landing from Elin.
But I will say, if this fight goes rounds and Green is not able to do damage like she was in that last round, this could be a tough fight.
That's where you're going to have to question whether or not she has the conditioning. We're going to find that out over 10 rounds.
A lot of times punchers don't have the same kind of conditioning as other fighters. They load up, they get tired quicker. We got to see how this fight is going to play out.
Green looking comfortable with her movement. Moving along the ropes. Serrano's continuing to charge forward. Serrano's Smothering her punches, then coming away with a combo.
It's been a good comeback round for Serrano after getting dropped in the last round.
Solid recovery round. We're through 4 in this 10-round title eliminator. Going to take another look at the knockdown from Shadasia Green earlier in this fight.
Yeah, she lands a right hand on the ear first, which had Serrano a little bit in trouble, and then she dipped her head offline, followed up with that overhand right, landed perfectly on the side of the head, and put Serrano down. Even in the corner, you see Serrano turning her neck as if she got a little stinger in that neck from that shot, which does happen.
Check this out, let's go.
Round number 5 about to begin. Elin Siderus trying to bounce back from her first pro loss and pick up another fight date with Erika Cruz DAZN. Punches in her right hand against Green in the opening seconds here in the 5th.
I'd like to see either one of these ladies against Francois.
That could likely be next for the winner here tonight. Erika Cruz DAZN in attendance watching this one.
I'm sure she's dressed to the 9, looking fly, as usual. Oh, good little dig to the body there from Green.
This left hook from Siderus.
See,
Green in the corner.
This is what I was talking about. As this fight goes on and the pressure from Serrano builds up, we could have a different second half of this fight. Oh, good body work there.
Right hand connects from Siderus.
Yeah, I'm feeling a little bit like Green does not like the pressure. Oh, good shots. Oh, hurt wobbled her again.
Counter left from Green, making an impact. Oh, and another right hand. They smother at the center.
I spoke too soon. Green was just loading up, waiting for that power shot. She landed a good left hook and a right hand. Both seem to affect Serrano.
Siderus continuing the work. And a right counter from Green. Perhaps the timing has been met by the Sweet Terminator.
Good adjustment from Green in this round to stick to the body, get back to the jab a little bit. Just such a difference in the power.
That could be what separates these two when we're all said and done. Left hook by Green lands again. And a right hand before the bell.
Serrano touches and Green bangs. Very different power.
Quality response from Shadasia Green. That round a little difficult to judge, but Green perhaps coming away with the upper hand.
Yeah, I gave that round to Green. I've got her up 48-46. Still a close fight. She has that knockdown in round number 3, giving her the edge. We're only halfway through. There's still a long way to go in this fight.
There you see Rashad Mahdi, another New York native. We were originally scheduled to fight on this card, though he had to pull out due to an injury sustained during his training camp. Well, we will hopefully see the Albania Bear back in action shortly here as we start off our 2023 action on Matchroom Boxing. Along with Chris Algieri, I'm Justin Shackle. Start of round 6, scheduled for 10 in the WBC title eliminator between Elin Siderus and Shadasia Green. Siderus, the former IBF and WBA super middleweight champ, coming off her first pro defeat to Erika Cruz DAZN. Looking for a rematch. Green, meanwhile, trying to go for a 9th straight stoppage win. Right now, lefts and rights coming from all angles by Elin Siderus.
Next time it's a point. Next time it's a point.
Serrano getting a stern warning there for using the elbow on the inside. Oh, good body work there from Green.
Green going downstairs. Trying to land the overhand right. Solid connection with the right hand first to the body, then to the head. Overhand right, sending Sidorus back to the corner.
Sidorus in a lot of trouble here.
An uppercut from Green.
Green is kicking her punches really well.
Sidorus able to angle out, but on the way, met with a left hook. That's going to do it! The power, too much to overcome by the former champ, Shadasia Green, with her 9th straight stoppage victory here at the Garden.
You said it earlier, Justin, the power is real. That was a impressive stoppage against a very good fighter.
Shadasia Green take a bow.
Yeah, I believe it was a right hand that started the trouble there. So that overhand right has been a consistent weapon, and then a nice short straight one, then right back to the overhands, picking her punches so well, perfectly timed, pulling away with the right hand and the left hook. Stoppage arguably a little early, but you know, with the way that Green was landing, and obviously she has the power, wasn't a whole lot of complaints coming from the Sidorus corner, but still very impressive stoppage win for Green.
Shadasia Green was in attendance on April 30th here at the Garden in the big room. She watched Franchon Cruz DAZN fight Elin Sidorus. She enjoyed Amanda Serrano against Katie Taylor, and she manifested that she would be back in this building. Green and her team saw the vision that night. Here they are now. And Shadasia Green has positioned herself for a potential title clash with Franchon Cruz DAZN via a TKO 6.
Hey,
we are ready to go.
Sign me up for that. I want to see it.
To make it official, David Diamante, take it away.
Ladies and gentlemen, referee Danny Schiavone calls a halt to this contest. The official time of the stoppage, 1 minute and 8 seconds of round number 6. Your winner by TKO. She's still the WBC silver. She's now the WBA Continental Americas and the winner of the WBA and WBC World Title Eliminator. Still undefeated, the Sweet Terminator, Shadasia Green.
Well, the former D1 hoop star at Old Dominion. She is strapped with some serious hardware here as she picks up the biggest win of her pro boxing career. Shadasia Green moving to 12-0 with her 11th KO. And it was her biggest test to date. She takes care of the former champ Elin Sidorus in 6. Again, many of her contemporaries labeled her as women boxing's best kept secret. And if you didn't know her before tonight, you surely know her now.
Yeah, I was going to say, ain't a secret no more. That right hand certainly is not a secret. That thing is heavy and did some damage tonight.
Shadasia Green knocking Sidorus down in the 3rd round, and a flurry of power shots in round number 6. Danny Schiavone calling that one off in the 6th. How in control you think Green was throughout that fight?
I think she felt the pressure a little bit here and there, but she had that game-changing power. She knew it. She believed that. I said that early on. You could tell she believes in her power. She was sitting on that right hand. She felt comfortable with her defense. Was able to see the punches coming, and when it was time to pull that trigger, man, she really capitalized.
Green began boxing as a teenager to just keep her in shape for her basketball season. She was a star basketball player in Patterson, went to the famed Patterson boxing gym, Ike and Randy's. Her mother actually had to call Barry Porter and said, hey, look, we have a lot of scholarship offers for basketball on the table here. You need to send my daughter home. And Barry Hearn said, hey, I don't have much for you here in terms of a scholarship, so you need to go home. You need to fulfill your obligations to your mom. And her mother promised her, as long as you bring home a degree, a college degree, I'll let you continue boxing, but it has to be after that. She went on, she played basketball at Old Dominion, on a D1 scholarship, earned her degree, handed it to her mom, got back in the gym as a pro boxer, and here she is some 4 years later, setting herself up for an undisputed title fight.
Hey, once you have a degree, you can never take that away. So that I would say that's some good parenting coming from her mom. But let's talk about some good action in this fight. I mean, Green looked great. She was really, really selective with her shots, landed some big shots, was able to hurt Sedaris several times throughout the night. And it was time to close the show. She did it in championship form, really picking her shots beautifully, didn't waste anything, landing big, heavy shots, getting the stoppage, and now getting her hand raised. Big future ahead of her.
Yeah, the first of 5 female fights on tonight's card to open up Matchroom's 2023 here at the Garden. And Deja Green coming away with the victory, a 6th-round TKO over the former champ Elin Sedarus. Again, she improves to 12-0 and racks up her 11th career knockout. Coming up next year on Before the Bell, it is the return of Rama Ali. She puts her undefeated mark on the line against Avril Matthew. Ali believes she is very close to a world title opportunity as she steps back inside the Hulu Theater here at the Garden tonight.
It's really weird, like the fashion world sees me as a boxer and the boxing world sees me as a model. I always see myself first and foremost as a boxer. You know, the thing that I always want to do is like bridge a gap between fashion and boxing, and I think, you know, me doing unique things like this allows me to bring my 2 worlds together. It was actually through a friend of a friend who'd introduced me to one of the senior women at Off-White, Jessica, and I'd invited her to Katie Taylor, Amanda Serrano fight, and it was her first sort of intake into boxing. She'd never been to a boxing fight, let alone like a huge women's fight, and she absolutely enjoyed it. I brought up, I'd love it if Off-White could make me a kit, and she said, you know, we'd be honored. And the rest is history, as they say. It was a lot of back and forth. They would send designs. I'd say, I really like this. Can we change this? At the end of the day, I wanted to, you know, be in something that would make me feel good, because when you feel good, you perform good. It's a special yellow and a special blue that only Off-White, that's been trademarked by Off-White. Is that true, Rich? Cut that bit out, Alice. Sorry. Some of the coaches in the gym have started calling me Chingona. I don't know why, but it's quite cool. It means badass in Mexican slang, and apparently I've shown it in my hard work, discipline, and, you know, my evolution from a pity-patty amateur boxer to someone that wants to hurt someone in the ring.
Ramla Ali's fight kit tonight, courtesy of Off-White, designed by I.B. Kamara, as the Garden continues to fill in for Serrano Cruz coming up later tonight on DAZN. We are a little more than halfway through our Before the Bell card. 3 matches in the books, 2 more to come here. Ramla Ali and Avril Matthew up next, 2 undefeated fighters going up for an IBF regional title. Then you have Sky Nicholson, also undefeated, against Tanya Alvarez, leading up to the main card at 8 p.m. Eastern on DAZN. These next 2 featured fighters under the Matchroom brand, Ali, Nicholson, very young in their careers, yet the pool in women's boxing, obviously not as deep as the men's side. They seem pretty close toward world title contention. Just as a pro fighter, though, when you see that's on the horizon, what do you start to pay more attention towards?
You know, I like to see their progression. I've had the honor to call both of these women's almost their entire careers. I've called most of their fights from their pro debut up until now. And I've seen them both progress in different ways, you know, getting more professional, because they both have good amateur backgrounds. And that's why they're able to be in contention for titles so soon, so early in their career, aside from being females with, like you said, there's a smaller talent pool. But they both progress in different ways. Ramla has shown some power her recent 2 fights. She switched up her training camp. She's got a real team behind her. She's training hard. She's scoring knockouts. Her right hand has really come along. She always had a pretty good right hand. Now she got a very good right hand. And even Sky Nicholson, she went from literally fighting from the outside, pity-patting, to now actually dropping girls in the ring as well as a pro. Hasn't got that stoppage yet, but she wants it. She's going for it. And both of them feel like they're going to get a title shot this year.
Rama Ali's power increasing. She gives full credit to Manny Robles.
I would too.
Yeah. they've kind of brought her out of her amateur shell, so to speak. You can the improvements are just so visible after she spent some time there. This will be her 4th fight under the tutelage of the Robles family. What's it probably? First 2 fights more of an observation for the Robles stable, and then you go to work from there?
Yeah, I think, there's a lot of people always say when there's someone switches a trainer, like, oh, I can't wait to see what their performance. Really, it takes a couple fights for that to set. It takes a couple camps. That's really what it's about. It's the training camps. It's the time you spend in the gym. It's the culture of the gym that needs to sap into the fighter style, and you're starting to see that in Ali, in the way that she's changed in her last 2 fights. First 2 fights, not a big difference. Last 2 fights, major difference.
And as we move forward towards Sky Nicholson again competing against Tanya Alvarez, the main bout here on before the bell, 5-0 record. You mentioned the shoot, get out, so to speak, that type of style that we've seen from Sky. It's worked. She's a smart fighter. Yep. She knows that she can fight on the inside and quote unquote brawl if she needs to put in that scenario. We have yet to see Sky Nicholson out of her control over the first 5 fights of her pro career. That means there's really no reason to engage in that type of boxing. And tonight, Tanya Alvarez, a young fighter out of Spain, she says her biggest boxing influence is Mike Tyson. So you know what her fighting style is modeled after. This is another example of where Sky Nicholson probably isn't going to want to be inside too much. She's going to try and stay true to herself. That may not be as appealing to some pro fight fans. She realizes that. She realizes what is needed. She's been working on that, but that doesn't mean she should detract what has brought her to this point.
Yeah, at the end of the day, you got to win.
Yeah.
There's a lot of things you can do outside the ring to promote yourself, to market yourself, to get your name out there. And she's been doing that. She's been hitting the trail hard to try and get her name out there as much as she can. But at the end of the day, it comes down to the boxing. You want to be a world champion, you've got to be able to dig deep. You've got to be able to deal with adversity. You've got to be able to overcome. I always say the best fighters in the world, the real champions, are the ones that can make adjustments on the fly and find a way to win. We haven't seen that yet from her, but tonight could be the night.
Nicholson and Alvarez, the main event on our Before the Bell card. As you see, one of the top Puerto Rican fighters in the game today, Xander Zayas, no stranger to this room.
It's my guy from South Florida. He's a good man down there. I've sparred with him quite a few times.
And he competes in the same gym, has the same trainer as Avril Matthew, who we will be seeing coming up next against Ramla Ali. Those two hitting the scales at the weigh-in yesterday. There you see Harley Medeiros back in street clothes. This is a quick night for Medeiros. First 6-rounder looked very impressive.
Looked excellent. Is now soaking up all the love from his hometown friends and family. Gotta love that.
This was the scene from the weigh-in yesterday. There you see Avril Matthew ready to put her 8-0-1 record on the line against Ramla Ali, who is 7-0 with 2 knockouts. Both fighters weighing in at an identical 121.4. Matthew naturally a 118-pounder, but look, when you have the opportunity to fight on a matchroom card, you have the opportunity to fight an opponent with the caliber as Ramla Ali brings. This is a no-brainer to make that jump up to 122.
Yeah, Avril is someone else who trains down in South Florida. I've been in the gym with her many times. I've trained her several times. She's been pushing for a big fight. This fight came up, she didn't blink about it. Obviously, it's a step up. Obviously, it's a named person. She's obviously coming in here as the blue corner, the B side, but she didn't blink about the opportunity. She's coming here to show out.
Avril Matthew was last on a matchroom card in January of 2020, and it kind of feels like between COVID, she documented a nasty ankle fracture that she had. She had some setbacks there that really prevented her from getting going after the lockdown was lifted. She's hungry for this moment because there was a certain feeling that she may have been on the cusp of back in January of 2020, and she's only had 3 fights since, so this is a massive opportunity for her here.
Oh, absolutely, and she understands that. She lives and breathes this stuff, so she knows this is a huge opportunity for her. It's a dream for her to come here to New York and fight in Madison Square Garden. So I think she's fully prepared for what's in front of her.
That, believe it or not, is Avril Matthew's family. Again, from Australia, lives and trains in South Florida. A lot of friends and family making the trek here to the Hulu Theater at Madison Square Garden.
Man, that's quite a
we
trip.
are closing in for the ring walk between Ramla Ali and Avril Matthew. Again, just 2 more to go here on our Before the Bell program. Ali and Matthew for the IBF Intercontinental Super Bantamweight title, and then the WBC Silverweight Featherweight title on the line between Sky Nicholson and Tanya Alvarez. It all leads up to our main card action starting at 8 p.m. Eastern on Before the Bell. And we will kick it off there with Yankel Rivera. It'll be the Matchroom debut for the 2-0 Rivera, the Puerto Rican Olympian from 2020, one of the most recent Matchroom signees. Richardson Hitchens, John Bauza in action as well. Then the undisputed doubleheader with Alicia Baumgartner going up against Ella Mechalad of France. And the main event, of course, Amanda Serrano getting ready to go against the WBA featherweight champ Erika Cruz for undisputed at 126. We are ready for Ramla Ali and Avril Matthew, ready to go. A pair of undefeated fighters, that is, getting ready to make their ring rocks on Before the Bell. Let's go up to David Diamante.
Ladies and gentlemen, from the Hulu Theater live on DAZN, we are set to go with a special junior featherweight attraction. Now set to make a ring walk, please welcome the undefeated Aussie, Avril Matthew.
Again, Avril Matthew, 8-0-1, 35 years of age. Born and raised in Australia, now lives and trains in Southern Florida, coming off a unanimous decision win over Judah Hackbold in her last fight in June. And it has been a little over 3 years since we last saw Matthew on a Matchroom card. Through the pandemic, through setbacks from an ankle fracture, she's only fought 3 times since that last Matchroom show in January of 2020. She's naturally a bantamweight. This opportunity too good to pass up at 122, not only for the chance at a belt, but the caliber of opponent in Ramla Ali. It's something that Matthew has been searching for.
And now making her way to the ring, please welcome the undefeated Ramla Ali.
The last time we saw the 7-0 Ramla Ali, she was making history yet again. Ali, part of the first women's boxing match to ever take place in Saudi Arabia when she knocked out Crystal Garcia Nova in the first round. And that took place on the Usyk-Joshua undercard in August. It was a fight that she said she competed with fractures in her wrist and in her toe. She took the rest of 2022 to heal. She attended several fashion weeks around Europe in that time, and she kind of joked that she'll stick around for New York Fashion Week, which is coming up, only if she can avoid any markups here tonight. But she means business inside the ring. Ali believes a world title shot later this year is feasible, but she has to get through an opponent who is just as tall and long as she in Avril Matthew.
Ladies and gentlemen, from the Hulu Theater, Madison Square Garden, New York, New York, USA, live on DAZN, we are set to go with a special junior featherweight attraction. It's all being brought to you courtesy of Mr. Eddie Hearn of Matchroom Boxing. We're sponsored by Stagefront, Crowd RX, and Renaissance Hotels. This bout is sanctioned under the auspices of the International Boxing Federation. The president, Daryl J. Peoples. The supervisor is Tracy Lundy. Introducing your 3 judges scoring this contest from ringside. From Connecticut, Tom Carasone. From California, Max DeLuca. And from New York, Kevin Morgan. And at the sound of the bell, your 3rd person in the ring from New York, referee Charlie Fitch. And now, ladies and gentlemen, 10 rounds of boxing scheduled for the vacant IBF Intercontinental Junior Featherweight Championship. Introducing first, fighting out of the red corner, wearing the brown with the white lettering. She scaled 121.4 pounds. She is undefeated in her campaign as a professional with a record of 8 victories, no defeats, 1 draw, with 3 wins coming by way of knockout. Fighting out of Sydney, New South Wales, Australia, ladies and gentlemen, Avril Mathy. And her opponent across the ring fighting out of the blue corner. She wears the blue with yellow trim. She also scaled at a ready 121.4 pounds. Her professional record, also a perfect one. 7 fights, 7 victories, 2 of them coming by way of knockout. She fights out of the Bethnal Green section of East End of London by way of Mogadishu, Somalia. Please welcome Ramla Ali.
Evening, Ramla. Ladies, you both know the rules. Obey my commands and protect yourself at all times. Touch gloves now. Come out fighting at the bell.
Avril Mathy getting one last word from her trainer, Javier Centeno, former trainer of the year. In this room, Centeno guided George Kambosos to a title win over Teofimo Lopez late in 2021. Avril Mathy, meanwhile, starting out with some frequent hands being thrown in all directions toward Ramla Ali.
Yeah, both these ladies starting fast, letting those hands fly. As you can see, even though Mathy is fighting in a weight class up, she's tall, she's big for the weight class, even here, 22.
And she says she doesn't really gain too much power, doesn't gain too much muscle by adding the 4 pounds or so. And she meets Ali with a right hand and then a counter by Ali.
They both landed big shots there, but Ali's landed on the chin. Seems to have affected Avril a little bit.
2 fighters coming strong at the outset of this fight. Scheduled for 10 rounds. Again, Ali coming off a first-round KO in Saudi Arabia on the Usyk-Joshua 2 undercard. Ali with Mathy with a victory in June of last year, her only fight of 2022.
Ali doing a good job of leaning on Avril whenever she picks her head down, and also sticking the body whenever she has the chance.
Right hand snuck in by Ali. No sneaking in with the other right hand that came in moments ago.
Now you can see the progression of Ramla throughout her pro career. Now her hand position has changed. She's a lot more balanced on her feet. She's throwing harder shots.
The right hand from Ramla Ali finding an early home here in round 1 against Avril Mathy.
Yeah, see that leaning. That'll kill your lower back, the fighter who's getting leaned on.
Good looping left hook from Mathy.
Has some swelling over the eye of Mathy.
Strong statement made in round 1 by Ramla Ali.
Yeah, Mathy started fast, but it was the precision of Ali. Here you see her cut an angle, bring that shot right up there. I think that's where the swelling from the eye started. Good right hands, good left hooks, and some good body work as well.
Earlier this week, Mathy said that the key for her is trying to make Ramla Ali uncomfortable. She thinks she's not comfortable with pressure. She doesn't think that Ali is skilled enough with her combination punching and that she can only throw one punch while going backwards. Ali wasn't going backwards in round 1.
No, and that's the thing about Ramla Ali. You don't know what you're going to get in front of you because she has progressed so much each and every fight in her last 4 fights. So we've got someone entirely new here.
Ramla Ali looking to improve to 8-0 in her first 10-round fight. Start of round 2 between Ali and Mathy.
Ramla doing a good job of hitting the body and then working her way up.
Mathy in the brown fight kit. Ali in the black, purple, and gold. You can see the increased power in the punches of Ali.
Yeah, absolutely. She's got quick hands to begin with, but now she just set down on her punches. I don't think that she lacked power per se, but she never had her feet underneath her. Now she's set in her stance. Good balance.
Comes in with a left hook, follows it with a right hand. Matthew with a strong right hand to the body.
Yeah, she landed 2 of those this round. The straight right hand to the body. Good shot is another one.
Ali packing the 2-punch combinations. Matthew meeting her with an overhand right. Oh, down to the body with a left hand.
Nice shot.
Another right hand and a counter from Ramla Ali.
Ali did a good job of noticing that when Avril went to the body, she left her chin open, so she answered with a left hook upstairs. Good adjustment on the fly.
Avril Matthew trying to get that right hand any which way she can.
Hey, Matthew needs to be careful getting too tall on the inside. The head is coming dangerously close to colliding.
Here's that lean over from Ali that you were mentioning in round 1.
Yeah, that can really tire your legs and your lower back out.
Good rebound from round 1 for Matthew, but Ali looking in control.
Yeah, definitely a better round. I don't know if it was enough for her to win it, but definitely better than the first round. Ali's doing a good job of standing her ground and answering, but that was some really nice body work from Matthew. She landed with a straight right hand down low and also the left hook to the liver.
Two really good trainers working each corner in this fight. Manny Robles Sr., Javier Centeno. Ramla Ali now lives and trains in Los Angeles. See the whole Robles faction decked out in Dodgers gear.
And be careful walking around MSG in Dodgers gear.
They actually have the number 42 on it, so massive respect to Jackie Robinson and the Brooklyn Roots.
There you go.
Can't argue against that. Third round here, scheduled for 10.
Oh, good left hook there from Ali.
Comes back with another in-between accommodation from Matthew.
Both of them showing some good skill here, fighting in mid-range, throwing tight punches. Good right hand there from Matthew.
Punch volume's been there from Avril Matthew. The counters have been on time from Ramla Ali.
Yeah, it's the battle of who's going to be more precise. Matthew is going to lead, she's going to throw combinations, and Ali is going to counter. Oh, good right hand. There's that leaning on the head again.
Ramla Ali in search of perhaps her third early stoppage in her last 4 fights.
Nice body work there from Matthew.
The jab lands from Ali. Matthew counters with some body work. Another right hand to the body for Avril Matthew. How do you think Ali has timed the rangy aspect of an opponent that is just as tall as her? You don't see that too much at 122.
Yeah, no, I mean, I think early on she was doing really well with that. Now they're kind of boxing on even terms. Initially, I think Avril was getting too in front of her front foot and was able to get countered by Ali, but this round hasn't really been like that.
Quality round for both fighters.
That swelling that was over the right eye of Matthew seems to be under control. Mike, the mechanic Basil, went right to work on that. Kept that swelling down.
Here he is applying some maintenance to the area in between rounds. Manny Robles Sr. doing his own work. with Avril Matthew. No, beg your pardon, with Ramla Ali, that is.
And that was a solid round number 3 for both those ladies. They were boxing pretty well on even terms in the center of the ring throughout.
Avril Matthew trying to stay undefeated to win her first pro belt as we get going in the 4th round between Ali and Matthew. Matthew in the brown kit. Ramla Ali, born in Somalia, lived most of her life in London. She is in the black kit with the purple and gold.
Matthew's getting through with some of these shots. I'm noticing an improved left hook from Ramla Ali. Not really a punch that we've seen much of in her past fights, but been coming off pretty decent here.
Punching with Avril Matthew moments ago, both exchanging body shots.
Oh, exchange right hands there. I was waiting for the ref to give some warnings about the rough house tactics on the inside from Ali. She's pushing on the head, using her forearm.
We have some markups on the left side of Ramla Ali's face here in the 4th round.
Yes, from that right hand that Matthew keeps getting her head offline and landing.
This is developing into a nice battle here on Before the Bell. Solid stiff left hand to the body, then working upstairs. Why do you think Charlie Fitch is okay with that from Ramla Ali?
I'm not sure. You know, it could be because he's thinking that Matthew is putting her head down there. But either way, there should be instructions saying either pick your head up or stop leaning on you. But also, she's putting the elbow into her as well. So if I was the corner of Matthew, I'd be complaining about that.
Ramla Ali trying to capture her first pro belt tonight on the undercard of Serrano Cruz here at the Hulu Theater at MSG, along with Chris Algieri. I'm Justin Shackle taking you through Before the Bell. This is our co-main event of Before the Bell. Ali with the yellow gloves and Matthew with the white gloves. And right at the gate in the 5th round, the combos coming steadily from Ramla Ali.
Matthew's trying to cut off the ring there. Catches a left hook.
The swelling on Matthew's forehead starting to increase once again, what we saw from the 1st round.
Good right hand from Matthew upstairs and then down low. Ramla trying to dig to the body.
Solid head movement from Ali, getting out of the way. And Matthew continuing to come forward.
Yeah, the output of Ali is really starting to take a dip. Not throwing as many punches. I think she's working very hard to push Matthew off of her. Not punching as much as she was.
Right hand connects from Ali. Matthew punching with her. Another overhand right attempt by Ramla Ali. Good body work from Matthew. Ends it with a scraping uppercut.
Both of these two may have been models in a past life, but they're definitely not fighting like one.
Ramla Ali joked modeling, taking the runway way more difficult than boxing. Too many people looking at her.
Well, she's probably got just as many people looking at her now. But she's too focused on the person, the Australian in front of her, trying to knock her head off.
Second straight quality round. These two going back and forth through 5.
Yeah, good exchanges in the center of the ring there in round number 5. See a good jab and a right hand over the top from Matthew. Catches Ali, and then another right hand there from Ali to answer back. Ali contested rounds these last few. Here we see the mark on the side of the face, under the eye, cheekbone of Ramla Ali getting the end swell applied right now. Don't miss those days. Those things hurt.
I want you winning every single round. Okay, round up.
As we've noticed, the work rate declined from Ramla Ali over the last couple of rounds. What else can Avril Matthew do to kind of punch through that ceiling to try and take back some of those early rounds that Ali scored?
I think she just needs to keep the pressure up, let her hands go, stay busy, you know, make it uncomfortable for Ali. She said that she was uncomfortable with punches being thrown at her, so she needs to do that. Whenever there's distance like this, Ali's able to land those shots. But in the inside, when Avril is busy like this, she's in control.
Can Matthew break through more consistently, get in front of Ali here as we reach the second half of this scheduled 10-rounder? She comes inside, is met with a left hook from Ali. See the swelling on the left side of Ali's face. Matthew marked up as well. And credit to both fighters. Most of the action, the exchanges have been done center ring. One-two combo from Ali. Matthew trying to answer back.
Yeah, Ali's had a better round. Good exchange here in the last 30 seconds of round number 6. When Ali uses those angles, she's very difficult to see where she's at. She opens up her own offense as well.
Another solid exchange in the 6th round. These two not slowing down in terms of being right in front of one another. Good 1-2 from Ramla Ali as the 6th round comes to a close. Right to work goes Mike Basil. There you see Letitia Wright, star of Black Panther, sitting nearby. Eddie Hearn down the aisle. Letitia Wright taking in the action here on Before the Bell as we get ready for Serrano Cruz tonight on DAZN. The undisputed doubleheader here in Matchroom's 2023 opener. Avril Matthew trying to secure her biggest win to date as we get going with round 7 between Matthew and Ali. Matthew so far, maybe through rounds 4 to 7, been throwing a higher number of punches. Ali landing more cleaner shots. Both doing damage to one another.
Yeah, it's been a competitive fight so far. That right hand, though, from Ali this round and last round, been landing pretty pretty cleanly.
They were on rocking Matthew moments ago. Be interesting to see what the judges are seeing ringside in this. The angles that we're watching versus what they have been seeing.
Ooh, good shot there from Ali on the inside.
The windup connected. Stab jab for Matthew.
Yeah, Ramla looked like she had a couple rounds in there where her output was coming down. She's looking very uncomfortable, but these last 2 rounds, she's had a bit of a resurgence in her technique.
There she goes, pumping the body with left and rights. Matthew lowered, was met with a left hand.
Looks like Ali's getting a little bit of her bounce back, like her amateur style, that in and out, going back to her roots.
Final 20 seconds of round number 7. This building filling up as we get closer to Serrano Cruz, but right now, it's Ali and Matthew in a very entertaining 10-round scrap for the IBF Intercontinental Super Bantamweight title. Another competitive round. Ramla Ali perhaps highlighting it with work to the body.
Bad in footwork. She got up on her toes in that round, was bouncing in and out. I was giving Averill a lot of trouble. And the jab, that right hand over the top, very cleanly, but it was set up by the jab. And we saw another clean right hand on the inside. Yeah, but the second half of that round, Ali really got up on her toes, was going in and out, using her jab to set up her right hand. Solid stuff.
How have you scored these middle rounds?
I have it pretty tight. I have Ali up by a little bit. Early on, it was all Ali. Matthew I had her taking a couple of those middle rounds, and then these last 2 rounds has been Ali again.
Ramla Ali aiming to win her 4th pro fight here in the U.S., her 2nd inside the Hulu Theater at MSG. She comes out free swinging to the start round 8, and she connects with the right hand. And the table turning a little bit there with Matthew hanging over Ali.
Honestly, I think once Ali got away from trying to lean on Averill so much, I think she's actually boxed better. She was tiring herself out trying to muscle Matthew around.
Good footwork getting out of the way, off the line in the path of Matthew. Ali looking strong here. Dribbling up the jab.
Matthew's one of those people who is year-round fit. She doesn't just train for fights. She's always in shape. So I don't think fitness is going to be in question here.
Back to the jab. Stay in control. Off the face.
There are a lot of fighters, I'm sure, that loathe the nutritional process of getting ready for a fight. Averill saying earlier this week, that's something that she embraces, she relishes, she has genuine interest in.
Yeah, she lives the life. I mean, she's a fitness fanatic. She loves training and eating properly, so I don't think that's a big struggle for her at all.
Former gym owner before she moved to the U.S. back in Australia. Moved to the U.S. at the age of 28 to pursue a pro boxing career. Here she is at 35 years of age, giving Ramla Ali all she can stand. Trying to win her first pro belt.
Yeah, Ramla now is keeping the distance, trying to fight from the outside, not trying to fight Matthew punch for punch on the inside like she was a few rounds ago.
More good movement from Ramla Ali.
No punches.
2-punch combo at the bell for Ali. Hulu Theater filling up as we approach the main card. Again, 8 p.m. Eastern on DAZN from New York City. Those first 2 opening rounds, Ramla Ali controlling the pace and the distance. The middle round's kind of up for grabs, but you could also perhaps see a scenario where you have one fighter taking the bulk of those middle rounds over the other by a narrow margin, yet they could possibly still come away with them in the judges' eyes.
This brings up the 2-minute rounds conversation, because boxing is hard to score in general. In a 2-minute round, it's really hard to score, and it doesn't take much to sway around. So it's really hard to see what's going to happen when it comes to judging with these kind of short round fights.
Start of round 8, scheduled for 10. Beg your pardon, round 9 here. As we are close to going the distance, Matthew with 3 knockouts in her career, Ali with 2.
Yeah, with as competitive as these two have been, and they haven't been really hurting each other, I would assume that we're gonna see the final bell in this fight. But both of them look like they've been in a fight, that's for sure. Got marks over the eye of Rama Ali, under the eye of Rama Ali, and over the eye of Matthew.
From how this fight started in the opening round, the way that Matthew got marked up, you thought that she was going to be in for it. But here she is showing a lot of heart, a lot of ability as we are already past the midway point of round 9.
Yeah, I think that she's shown a vast improvement in what you said, ability. You know, her boxing technique. She boxed well in the middle rounds and at the middle distance. You know, it's been a good fight. I don't know where the ref was on that call right there, but a lot of funky maneuvers.
Ali hasn't received a stern wording from Charlie Fitch all night. She might as well say, let's see what I can get here.
Definitely pushing the envelope in that situation.
Regardless of how this shakes out, even if
big right hand
connects, big right hand against Ali. Ramla Ali answering back with a right of her own. That might have been the most flush punch of the night from Avril Matthew.
Yeah, another good right hand there.
Again, she is jumping up in weight class here and in class of competition. But when Avril Matthew goes back down to 118, she could take a lot from this performance. Back to bantamweight. This has been an entertaining scrap. How close do you think this fight is as we start the 10th round?
I've got it pretty close. I'm sure the judges probably do too, but I mean, you never know. But this has been a pretty competitive fight.
Time! Touch close. Touch close. Let's go! Time in!
You know, the cleaner shots have come from the Ali side, but Avril has been pushing the action, landing some good shots of her own.
2 boxers, 2 part-time models going toe-to-toe here at the Hulu Theater at MSG.
Well, I think we heard from what Ramla was saying, that she's a full-time boxer now. That's what she sees herself. She said it's a funny place to be where the boxing world thinks she's a model and the modeling world thinks she's a boxer, but she sees herself a boxer. Ooh, good combination there from Ramla.
Quality connections. Ali keeping that distance.
You know, I think that's the key word, Justin, I think is the distance. I think that Ramla has a better judgment and understanding of the distance. She can move on the outside. She can jump in and fire in and land punches like that. Matthew doesn't have the same amateur pedigree or judge of distance yet.
This could be a closely scored fight, but one of the questions I'd be anxious to ask afterward, whether it is to Matthew herself or to her corner, why they haven't really petitioned or protested too much to Charlie Fitch with those holds.
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely an argument for that. But also, just if there's something going on that if you don't like in a corner, it's better off to mention it. Bring it to the attention of the ref. Put it on their mind. Put it in the mind of the judges as well. Good right hand.
Combo from Ali, punctuating it with the right hand. It's been there for much of this fight in terms of the impact that Ramla Ali's punches have been making. The improved power on display. The accuracy there as well. The tenacity from Matthew coming back. Quality fight for both warriors here. Avril Matthew and Ramla Ali putting in 10 quality rounds at the Garden.
And to build off what you said, I think regardless who wins this fight, I think both of these ladies are going to learn a lot from this experience and are only going to get better from here.
Both fighters back in their corners, leaving it all on the table here, giving it all that they had in their first fights of 2023. Undoubtedly, this one the closest fight that we've seen so far before the bell this evening. This is one of 6 bouts on our card that had title implications. We're going to have another one coming up next, and then 3 straight on the main card tonight, beginning with Richardson Hitchens and John Bauza, then 2 back-to-back undisputed clashes. First up, Alicia Baumgartner going up against Ellen Mechalad, and then the main event, Amanda Serrano and Erika Cruz for all the hardware at 126. See Manny Robles Sr. coming over to congratulate the corner of Avril Matthew. We are ready to get the verdict here between Avril Matthew and Ramla Ali. Let's go back inside the ring with David Diamante.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 10 rounds of action here at Madison Square Garden, we go to the judges' score totals, and they read as follows. All 3 judges, Tom Carasone, Max DeLuca, and Kevin Morgan, scored this bout identically, 99-91, for your winner by unanimous decision, and the new IBF Intercontinental Junior Featherweight Champion, Ramla Ali.
Ramla Ali coming away with her first pro belt. The IBF Intercontinental Super Bantamweight title wrapped around her waist, and a unanimous decision. Do you agree? 99-91 though?
That seemed a little wide. I had Ali winning the fight. I had her up by a couple of rounds, but 99-91, that's a bit much. But she looked good. She definitely has been improving. It's great to get 10 rounds under her belt. And like we said, I think both of these ladies are going to learn a lot from their experience with each other tonight. And they're both going to improve from here.
Well, we'll see what happens with New York Fashion Week for Ramla Ali. But tonight, she showed terrific footwork, controlled the distance for the majority of the match, landed accurate punches, especially with that right hand. And she comes away victorious via unanimous decision over Avril Matthew. She has the IBF Intercontinental Super Bantamweight title now in her possession. She feels that a world title opportunity could be lurking here in 2023. We shall see, but this one very entertaining on before the bell.
Yeah, I think both ladies actually showed vast improvement in what we've seen from past fights. They started fast, but Ramla Ali was really sharp early, put some damage onto Avril Matthew. This is all in the first round. Landed good right hands, left hooks, had Matthew swollen, a little bit of blood from the nose. Matthew came back. She battled back in the middle rounds, landed some good body work, was able to land good right hands from the outside. And then from here, it was just back and forth action. Both ladies trying to assert their will and fight their fight. Ali was able to get on her toes, kind of took a page out of her amateur career, using that in and out style to land her jab and land the right hands over the top. And to me, I think that was the difference tonight, was Ali's ability to adjust. She got on her feet, got on her toes, used her jab thought she was going to knock Avril out early. She hit her with some big shots, was planting her feet, realized that it was a much tougher fight on the inside than she wanted, got on her toes, was able to make the adjustment and come out with the win.
Ali charging forward here at 122 pounds in 2023. Avril Matthew perhaps going back down to 118. She should be having, if it wasn't there already, she should be having renewed confidence about where she could take her career. What would you like to see her do as she perhaps and probably moves down back to 118?
Yeah, I think it'd be smart for her to go back down to 118. She makes the weight very easily. She made 22, no problem. But yeah, I think we've seen vast improvement in her skill set. She's not just a model like a lot of people like to think of these ladies. They can fight. So we're probably going to see her in big fights down the line.
Potentially against an individual that hails from Australia, just like her, Ebony Bridges, and perhaps a title opportunity lying ahead for Avril Matthew in 2023. Terrific effort for her, but Ramla Ali comes away victorious via unanimous decision here at the Hulu Theater at Madison Square Garden. One more fight to go here on Before the Bell. It features Skye Nicholson, 5-0, and looking for her second pro belt in as many matches tonight as she takes on Tanya Alvarez. She sat down with Matchroom Boxing earlier this week here in New York.
Skye, we're back here in New York. You spent the last week or so training in Detroit with Alicia Baumgardner. How was that experience, rubbing shoulders with a world champion on a daily basis?
It was amazing. It was a really good experience. It was freezing, but no, I really loved it. It was really eye-opening to see how they train, how they do things, their daily routine, and be a part of it all. It was a really good way to finish up camp.
You've constantly taken yourself outside of your comfort zone, just moving from Australia to England for your career. An example of that. How important do you think that is for fighters to put themselves in that position to sort of prepare themselves for the top end of the sport?
I mean, I think it's quite an individual thing, but I know for me, when even as an amateur, when I was training away from my home and my social distractions, that was when I saw my best performances. So I knew that going into my pro career, that's what I needed to do. I needed to be away from home, out of my comfort zone, in a new environment where I can be solely focused on my boxing, and I think it's worked quite well so far.
You boxed all over the world last year, finished 5-0 and with the Commonwealth title. It's the WBC silver title this time. What are the plans for you moving forward in 2023?
Big plans for this year. It's quite exciting. Obviously, my main focus is completely on the WBC silver this weekend, but we definitely want to look at world title fights in the next few fights. So at the moment, it's just all about getting myself into a mandatory position so that I can challenge whoever has the belts. We'll find out who has all the belts at 126 on Saturday night. So I'll definitely be watching the main event quite keenly.
Tanya Alvarez stands in your way this weekend. She's unbeaten. It's the first time she's boxing outside of Spain. What are you expecting from her this weekend?
I'm really excited for this fight because she is an all-action fighter. She comes to fight, she's going to want to sit on my chest. I think there's going to be a lot more action than we've probably seen in my first 5 pro fights. I think my past opponents have kind of seen me as a counter boxer and not wanted to kind of engage, I guess, too aggressively, knowing that I'm looking for those counter shots. But I feel like Alvarez, this is going to be her game plan. I think she's going to come and it's going to be, an all-action fight, so I'm very excited for that.
As you said, the main event is for all the world titles in your division. I'm sure you'll be watching as a fan, but also you never know what could happen in the future. They could be future opponents, so will you sort of be taking mental notes ringside, stuff like that?
Yeah, 100%. I'm watching that main event with the plan and the goal to fight for those same belts this year in my next few fights. So I'll definitely be watching as a fan, but I will even more so be watching, almost studying my potential future opponents.
Before I finish, we can see that you're in New York Knicks clothes, and you have been all week. Is that a hint to what you might be coming out with on your ring walk?
It is. New York always support me when I come out here, so I feel like I should give back the same support. I came out in the New York Rangers jersey for my last fight in New York, and we've opted with the New York Knicks theme this time, which I'm absolutely loving, trying to get out to their game on Sunday night after the fight as well.
Well, Skye Nicholson knows how to work New York City through her fight kit, that's for sure. Rangers color scheme back in April 30th in the big room. Here tonight, the Knicks color scheme. And I'll tell you, I'm pretty interested to see what Skye Nicholson can do on U.S. soil in front of a real big crowd, because her first 2 fights Back in San Diego in March, the room didn't fill up as much. Same thing in late April. It was a bigger arena. There was a lot of people in there, but obviously we were in the big room, 20,000 plus in the big room at Madison Square Garden. We have a packed house right now before the main card, and we're going to get an up-close and front look at Skye Nicholson as she makes her third fight in the U.S. But this is an atmosphere that is built for Amanda Serrano and the main event later tonight. The pride of Puerto Rico going at it against Erika Cruz. It's going to be Puerto Rico and Mexico. That's another element into all this, but we're going to have pro-Puerto Rican crowd here. I know you've been in this room when we've had that Puerto Rican flavor. What will the fighters experience throughout the main card?
Yeah, I mean, I've fought Puerto Ricans in this room, so I know what it's like. But yeah, the Puerto Rican fans are such great boxing fans. They come out for their people. You know, it's filling up already. It's still early. We have a lot more to go, and the place is filling up. But that's how this room is. The Hulu Theater is that way. Skye Nicholson has been hinting at wanting to fight the winner of this fight, which very likely is going to be Amanda Serrano. And we're talking about Puerto Ricans in New York, talking about she's wearing her New York kit. Very well could see that fight down the line. I don't know how realistic that is happening this year, but that's what she's talking about. But we'll see. But yeah, I think that's a really good point to allude to. Hey, how is she going to perform in front of a crowd like this? Are those Puerto Ricans going to show her love tonight? Are they going to show her love if she's fighting against Amanda Serrano? Probably not.
I wonder if they've heard those hints dropped by Skye Nicholson, by Matchroom. Like maybe perhaps lurking in a year or so, you could see a 126-pound clash between an Amanda Serrano and a Skye Nicholson. Bottom line, they're going to be here, so let's see what the reception's like for that. We're going to hear a great reception when the main card starts at 8 p.m. Eastern on DAZN, because Yankel Rivera, a Puerto Rican Olympian, will be kicking us off here on the main card. So he's going to be hearing the love. That has to be terrific for a fighter who's only 2 battles into his pro career, getting this type of support at the Hulu Theater.
Yeah, I mean, no, there's nothing like when you come out and you hear the roar of the crowd. I was a hometown fighter. I fought in my backyard a lot, and I had a lot of people come out for me, and I have people come out for me in this room as well. There's something about that, man, especially when you're a young fighter. It just invigorates you. It gives you a different kind of zest for the sport. This is a tough game, man, but when you have that feeling, it's addictive.
What about the aspect of Puerto Rico and Mexico? Do you think that aspect is felt so much here in New York?
Yeah, I mean, that's a battery as old as time. So that's not something that's going to always, a rivalry rather, that is always going to make it step up that much more. Every Puerto Rican wants to beat every Mexican. Every Mexican wants to beat every Puerto Rican when it comes to a boxing match. So it just livens the event that much more.
Here we have Australia and Spain going at it. Skye Nicholson, Tanya Alvarez, 2 fighters in their 20s, young in their pro careers, but both fighting for a professional belt here, the vacant WBC super featherweight title at 126 pounds. Skye Nicholson coming in at 125.6, Tanya Alvarez at 124.8. The press conference Thursday, their face-off, Alvarez didn't shake Skye Nicholson's hand. She extended it. Honestly, I feel like Alvarez didn't see that handshake. So, well, we're going to see if there's any animosity built up with Skye Nicholson. She's all smiles during her interviews, and this is something where you really have to give a credit to a young fighter like Skye Nicholson. She is very talented, obviously, in the ring. She has the appeal to a lot of fight fans, and when she's coming to a place like New York, during fight week, there are a lot of obligations and requirements that need to be made, and it's as if they check him off. Her and her camp, with Paul Reddy leading the way, they just check them off one by one, and it does not faze her at all. That's something to say for a young fighter.
Well, it's smart on her team to look to do that. For one, it's going to build her profile. 2, it's going to prepare her for those big fights. Listen, fight week on a big fight, it is very heavy. Heavy lifting to be done all week long in terms of marketing, in terms of calls, in terms of meeting people and handshakes and signings. And I mean, that doesn't get easier as you go. So it's good for them to start that young and early on in her career, because she's going to have to deal with that if she's going to get to those upper end fights that are hopefully down the line for her.
And she makes the big pit stops at some of the big media outlets here in New York City. And one thing she did hint, and we could discuss this a little bit more as we get into this match, for the very first time, we've heard her hints about kind of being on the fence about going into Paris for the 2024 Olympics. Remember, like a year ago, she was all about going back there. She said she had unfinished business. She said earlier this week, there's a possible realization that you can't have everything you want. She feels that she has to make a very difficult decision coming up in short order, because there needs to be time for her to be ready for the Olympic qualifiers later on this year. She has aspirations of capturing her first world title in 2023. She also wants to go back to the Olympics. Qualifying obviously takes a bite out of her pro schedule in 2023. She feels like that's a very difficult decision she's going to be making. And for the first time, it's not like, hey, I'm all in on trying to go back and forth between pro and the Olympics. So that's a decision that will be coming maybe in the next few weeks for Sky Nicholson. That's a tough one for a young fighter. A good problem to have.
Yeah, that's not a tough one for me. I don't like this idea of going back and forth between the pros and the amateurs. The pros are very, very dangerous. You need to dedicate yourself fully. Amateurs, you need to too. So, and the styles are different. They're different. It's a different fight, you know. So, I don't like the idea of jumping in between, 10-round fight versus a 3-round fight. It's a big difference, different scoring system. I think you should focus on the pros, look to go out there, make money, and win titles. Gold medals are great, but she's already a pro. She's already got a profile that's out there. So I would say stick with the pros.
6th pro fight for Sky Nicholson coming up here. What are you going to be watching for as we get started with round 1 against Tanya Alvarez?
I want to see her assert herself more. We know she can move and she can fight at a distance. I think Alvarez is going to come out here and going to put some pressure on her. So I want to see how she adapts to that, how she's able to fight off the inside. I don't care how good you can move your feet. You're going to have to learn how to fight on the inside at times. So I would like to see that from Nicholson tonight and see how she adapts and adjusts.
One thing I'm intrigued about, let's see what type of training in the U.S. could possibly have rubbed off on Sky Nicholson, because she completed her training camp in Detroit, Michigan with Alicia Bumgarner earlier this week before they made the trip to New York City. Those two sharing some training camp moments together in Michigan.
Alicia was originally going to fight a southpaw, so she reached out and was like, I'm fighting a southpaw, come finish camp. I don't even think she knew I was on the same card at the time, but yeah, it ended up changing. She's fighting an orthodox, but yeah, we booked the camp. We're out here sparring, training together. It's a really good experience for me, obviously, so early in my career.
We was talking just the other thing yesterday. We were saying not so much, for this fight, but if she's going to talk in world titles and that, I think this will be crucial for her development as a fighter. To experience and see, confidence it gives you. She done a few rounds with Alicia and young, hungry US girls coming to take her head off, and she coped very well.
At least the sun's come out today. It's been so grey and gloomy.
I know, it's nice.
We're on our way to the Super Bad Fitness Gym for a technical boxing session. This will be our 3rd session training with Alicia. It's cool. I'm training with a world champion, about to become undisputed world champion.
We are ready to go for the main bout here on Before the Bell. It is Sky Nicholson and Tanya Alvarez. Into the ring we go with David Diamante.
Ladies and gentlemen, from the Hulu Theater, Madison Square Garden, live on DAZN, we are set to go with a special featherweight attraction. Now making her way to the ring, please welcome the undefeated Spaniard, Tanya Alvarez.
Well, at just 21 years of age, Tanya Alvarez is visiting New York City for the first time to take advantage of her first pro title opportunity. 7-1 record. She scored a 5th-round TKO over the winless Yazid Soto on November the 18th in her home country of Spain. It was the first stoppage of Alvarez's career, and now she is jumping into her first 10-round fight. She's making history in the process. Tanya Alvarez about to become the first Spanish female to ever fight at Madison Square Garden, and she described her boxing style as being aggressive, enjoying boxing at close range, being the forward fighter. Obviously, from what we've just talked about, a completely contrasting style to her opponent, Sky Nicholson.
And now, making her way to the ring, here is the undefeated, skilled southpaw, Sky Nicholson.
There is the 27-year-old Southpaw Sky Nicholson, born and raised in Australia, now lives and trains in London, and after a 5-0 campaign in her first year as a pro, Nicholson is hoping to continue to climb toward a world title after she captured a Commonwealth belt when she last fought in October in Brisbane to highlight her first fight in her homeland as a pro. It was Nicholson's first 10-round fight. She's ready for another. She's hoping a victory against Alvarez could lead to a title eliminator, and she has her sights on Amanda Serrano. Nicholson considers herself world-class. She believes she will be ready for the fighter in tonight's main event in the not-too-distant future. Right now, though, Tanya Alvarez is in front of Sky Nicholson.
Ladies and gentlemen, from the Hulu Theater here inside Madison Square Garden, live on DAZN, we are set to go with a special featherweight attraction. It's all being brought to you courtesy of Mr. Eddie Hearn of Matchroom Boxing. We're sponsored by Stagefront, Crowd RX, and Renaissance Hotels. This bout is sanctioned under the auspices of the World Boxing Council, the president, Mauricio Suleiman. The supervisor is Mr. Bob Duffy. Introducing your 3 judges scoring this contest from ringside. From New York, John McKay. Also from New York, Alan Nace. And from Massachusetts, Martha Tremblay. And at the sound of the bell, your 3rd woman in the ring from New York, referee Sparkle Lee. And now, ladies and gentlemen, 10 rounds of boxing scheduled for the vacant WBC Silver Featherweight Championship. Introducing first, fighting out of the red corner, wearing the pink trunks with the gold and black lettering. She scaled 124.8 pounds. Her professional record, a perfect one. 7 fights, 7 victories, one of them coming by way of knockout. Presentando de Castelbismo, Barcelona, España. Here is Tanya Alvarez. And her opponent across the ring fighting out of the blue corner. She wears the blue and orange. This skilled Aussie southpaw scaled 125.6 pounds. Her professional record, also a perfect one. 5 fights, 5 victories. Proudly fighting out of Queensland, New South Wales, Australia. Here is the 2020 Olympian, the Commonwealth Games gold medalist, and the reigning and undefeated Commonwealth featherweight champion, Sky Nicholson.
You already received your instructions. Obey my commands. Protect yourself at all times. Good luck, ladies. Let's do it.
Sparkle Lee given the final instructions for this 10-rounder, the vacant WBC Silver Featherweight title at 126 pounds. The main event here on Before the Bell from the Hulu Theater at Madison Square Garden. Along with Chris Algieri, I'm Justin Shackle. Tanya Alvarez trying to surge right in front of Nicholson, but Sky with that long reach for a 126-pound southpaw, keeping her at bay, tagging her with right hands.
Yeah, Sky likes to use that jab and spin-off right hook to control from the outside and not get bullied into the ropes.
Here she cracks her with a left hand. Alvarez said she likes to stand in front and train at close range. That's no secret. Big question is, will Nicholson force her to slow her pace down?
Yeah, Alvarez is just literally walking in the front door, not really throwing any kind of jab. Doesn't really have her hands up too well.
Already markings on the face of Tanya Alvarez.
Come on, guys, get out of here. Come on. Box it out of here. Let it go, let it go. Let it go.
And Alvarez, 21 years of age. Scored her first early stoppage win in her last fight in November in Spain. She said, when I asked if she has outgrown the competition in Spain, she said she didn't think so, but what she's experienced here this week has her wanting more in the U.S. The media attention, the ceremonies, the way they don't have as much of that in Spain, and maybe she's been bitten by the bug a little bit.
Yeah, well, she's going to have to show more in the ring because I'm not seeing a whole lot. She's just walking forward and just eating shots. No defense and not even offense.
Not throwing
anything.
Fist, exactly.
Yeah, I mean, media attention is one thing, but you got this is boxing. You got to be able to fight. Good right hand over the top there from Sky.
And Tanya Alvarez walking right into first-round damage against Sky Nicholson.
Walk right in is the key term because she didn't use a jab or throw many punches.
Sky Nicholson being coached by Eddie Lamb, Mike Basil, the cut man in her corner. How many outfit changes do you think Basil has to make tonight?
I mean, I think he's worked at least 4 corners tonight, so. Well, he's smart. He's got that hoodie underneath. He could just throw the team shirt over it. Stays warm.
He's like the host at an award show. Keep changing outfits. Start of round 2 between Nicholson and Alvarez. What will we see compared to that first round from Alvarez? More of the same or a more tactical approach?
No, I don't know if tactics are in her vocabulary. She's literally walking 1 foot in front of the other, not maintaining a stance.
Now this continues. Sky Nicholson's going to have every opportunity to rack up her first stoppage, her first knockout.
Honestly, I would be surprised and bothered if she didn't. With an opponent like this, the longer the fight goes, it's hard to look good. Ooh, good shot over the top from the inside.
And so maybe the handshake was done intentionally from the press conference.
Yeah, she's rough. I'll give her that.
How do you control the pace of a fighter like that?
I mean, someone like that, you have to just blow them out. You can't sit there and play with someone like this. So they're just going to come right at you. You gotta, like I said, the longer a fight like this goes, the uglier it gets, and you're not going to impress anyone. These are the kind of fights you don't want to be in as a prospect because it's hard to look good unless you knock them out right away. It's going to be a long, ugly night.
That's really the only solution to looking good for Sky Nicholson tonight.
Yeah. Yes.
To no fault of her own here.
No, I mean, she has someone in front of him that.
Yeah. She's doing her job. She's connecting with some impact punches.
Yeah, I mean, she's being very precise. Her accuracy and punch landed percentage has got to be very high. Here we see a nice overhand shot as Nicholson gets her head off line, which is smart, and that was the little hit on the break there. I think that was the only punch that Alvarez has landed thus far.
Tanya Alvarez threw that punch. She just stared at Sky Nicholson, didn't blink.
Nicholson has the right idea. She's getting her head offline because with someone like this who's just rushing in, head clashes are very common. So get your head offline, put your punches on the line, let your opponent run into them because that's all she's doing anyway. She's just coming forward with no defense. Just put the punches there and get off. Got to be a bit of a matador. Strike and cut angles.
Sky Nicholson trying to ace her second 10-round fight. Entering this contest at 5-0. This is round 3 of a 10-round scheduled regional belt between Nicholson and Alvarez.
Yeah, this is the right idea for Nicholson. She's whipping hooks on either side and then cutting to that angle. Again, being the matador, you got a bull running after you. Hit them one way, move that opposite way. But she has to try to not get tied up on the inside. That's where the heads are going to come together. That's where you're going to get tired, pushing someone off you. Make it a boxing match. This girl can't box.
Keeping her at bay with the jab. Nicholson throws the left hand as well. And then again, gets her head off the line.
Big swing and a miss from Alvarez. Nowhere near her opponent.
Nicholson cracks her with a right hook. Now a left hand.
Getting hit with absolutely everything.
Nicholson turns the chin with that right hand again.
You know, when Alvarez does actually make contact, which isn't much, but even when she hits in the body, she does look like she has heavy hands. It sounds like, you know, thudding shots. Big body shot there from Alvarez.
Yeah, smacking her with the left hand. Sky answers back.
Let her go, let her go.
That was a rare block punch by Alvarez.
Now Nicholson letting the hands go. Clear path to the face of Tanya Alvarez. How tough is it, though, to not try and be weary of the clash of heads with this style?
It's something that always plagued me in my career, being the taller guy for the most part. And people always trying to rush me to get inside my range. So you got to be careful with people like that. It can change the way you fight, truly, worrying about head clashes. From a fighter who's unorthodox and what I quote as a billy goat. Fighters who lead with their head. Here we see Nicholson striking and cutting angles, being the matador in there. Pun intended, since Alvarez is from Spain. Got a Spanish bull coming at you. Might as well cut some angles and dance.
Ahead of this matchup, Tanya Alvarez was asked about her boxing influences, and she said it definitely includes Mike Tyson because of his style. And she was actually the one who alluded to the fact that she likes to be aggressive like a bull, Chris.
Yeah, well, there it is. I mean, she's living up to what she said.
Certainly the bull part, not much of the Tyson part here in the fourth round. It's tag and go for Sky Nicholson, and she is acing that part of the test. Probably not a fight that she expected to be in. And a frustrating fight, and an annoying fight.
Yeah, I mean, it's tough when you have an opponent in front of you like this who's so awkward and just isn't a boxer, isn't boxing. Like we said earlier, if you don't blast them out of there, it's hard to look good.
Nice whack with the left hand from Sky Nicholson.
Watch your elbow.
Yeah, see, this is what I was alluding to earlier. You don't want to get tied up. You're going to waste so much energy in the inside, wrestling around with someone, this awkward, strong person.
Stop. Hey, listen, don't do that.
I mean, I'd like to see the jab from Nicholson. It's wide open. Use the stick instead of that leading right to that hook, because that's leading to this, where they're getting tied up. If she can stop her with straight punches, she won't allow her close enough, and she's wide open for everything.
And we saw it moments ago. You leave that left hand behind that stick jab, Tanya Alvarez is not going to see it coming at all.
No, I mean, she's not defending against anything, especially straight shots, but there it is. But for the most part, Nicholson has just been throwing hooks.
offering words of advice. Tony Moreno in the corner for Tanya Alvarez, bringing her 7-0 record into the U.S. Nicholson looking to improve to 3-0 in U.S. fights as we begin round 5, scheduled for 10.
Come on. Stop. No, you're holding. Stop. Get out of here, guys.
Oh, good check hook there and slide off from Nicholson. See, this is a nice adjustment. Fighting on the outside, staying long, keeping the distance, not getting tied up.
Not bringing that right hand back from the jab immediately, just hooking it forward and cracking Alvarez in the face. You got half-hearted punching attempts from Tanya Alvarez as well. Now she's getting tagged up. A couple of two-punch combos from Nicholson.
Tanya Alvarez just running in. Nice left hook there to the body attempted by Alvarez. Oh, good right hook there. Shook Alvarez up.
Another left hand making an impact for Sky Nicholson. Oh, and another. That one the overhand variety from Nicholson. Nicholson had a very busy first year as a professional, fought 4 times in a 91-day span, and that included a win over an undefeated opponent in her pro debut. Also a win over a former world champion in Gabrielle Bouvier as the round comes to a close. It included a match on the Taylor Serrano undercard, and here she is back at MSG in her 6th pro fight, having her way against an awkward Tanya Alvarez.
Yeah, Alvarez is just coming on, putting a lot of pressure. She's actually throwing some punches in that round on the inside, but for the most part, it's been Nicholson just picking her apart on the outside, trying not to get tied up and waste energy, but Alvarez is awkward and seems to be physically strong, so she's coming in and forcing the action.
It's like she doesn't know any better.
Yeah, I mean, she's fighting. She's fighting like a bull. She's obviously tough. She's taking some big shots. Keeps coming.
Nice segment of the crowd in support for the Australian Sky Nicholson in the blue and orange. Tanya Alvarez running toward her opponent in the pink and white kit here in round number 6. No, I like that. Nicholson kind of throwing it back at her, getting rough. Those right hands don't hurt, you know, in terms of throwing them doesn't hurt. The idea doesn't hurt. They definitely hurt when they make impact against Alvarez.
Nicholson doing a good job of keeping her head offline, keeping it out of danger. See that? See where she's placing her head? That's good. That's pro stuff there. You know, you're not fighting with the headgear, and clashes of heads are a big problem. She's getting her head offline, staying outside the shoulder. I mean, but again, I would like to see more straight punches from Nicholson, right down the middle. Keep that distance. Alvarez just fighting with attrition, just coming forward, just banging with whatever she can.
There's blood on the lip of Alvarez. Another hard right hand from Sky Nicholson. And running forward. 2-punch combo for Nicholson. No problem. And again, keeping her head off the line. Skye Nicholson, for nearly every second of this fight, doing what she has and is supposed to be doing against a fighter of this style. On to round 8, scheduled for 10. Vacant WBC silver featherweight title on the line between Nicholson and Alvarez. Skye Nicholson aiming to win her second pro belt, on the way to securing a world title shot later this year. She hopes a title eliminator is next on the schedule if she comes away clean here tonight with the victory. There's the jab setting up the left hand as Alvarez walks right into both punches. Another right hand that rocks Alvarez to the side. Alvarez trying to pump in some right hands to the body of Nicholson.
Yeah, I know Nicholson is not known as a puncher, but she's been landing some really clean shots on Alvarez, and she's taking them well. Alvarez is tough.
Outside, you guys, come on. Don't punch.
The overall pattern of this fight for Nicholson: throw the punches that you see in terms of where Alvarez is in front, but get your head out of the way to avoid those clashes ahead.
Yeah, she wouldn't have to do that as much if she kept the jab between her and Alvarez. Just keep her on the end of the punches, take small steps back, step around when you need to. I'd also like to see a little body attack from Nicholson. I mean, this is the pros. If she's going to progress in these 10-round fights, you know, you've got an opponent in front of you who's taking these shots to the head well. You know, why not dig down to the body when you have the opportunity?
Wear them down.
You know, Alvarez is starting to look tired. Mouth is open.
Skye Nicholson's trainer, Eddie Lamb, and Skye had an idea of what they could be expecting with Tanya Alvarez tonight. I wonder if they thought it was going to be to this level.
I don't know if they could picture this. You know, someone just coming in the front door like this. It's a very awkward, strange style. Look, she literally just runs from her corner into the ring, and then they tie up in the center and bang shots. But
it's been rinse and repeat for Skye Nicholson throughout this fight. Get your shots in, get your head out of the way. She has been in full control here in her return to Madison Square Garden. Though Skye Nicholson being her own harshest critic, she's probably going to be frustrated that she wasn't able to showcase more of her skill here. Obviously, though, as a pro, the smart thing to do, take what they give you.
Take the win. Don't get injured. You got someone who's awkward in front of you, who's obviously tough and is taking the punches, but, oh, Tanya's having the best moment of the fight so far.
Yeah, a combination from Tanya Alvarez. Nicholson pops her head back with the jab and now tags her with a series of combos.
I think when Team Nicholson goes back and looks at the tape of this fight, they could have made it easier. Granted, they're winning every moment of the fight, every round of the fight, but could have been a lot less wrestling, inside fighting.
And This is the round 9, where Alvarez is connecting with the most amount of her punches.
Yeah, I said last round I thought she was getting tired. Apparently not. This has been the highest output of the fight so far for her.
Some blood coming down from the nose of Tanya Alvarez, and the first female Spanish fighter to fight here at Madison Square Garden. All ahead of the main card, which will feature an undisputed doubleheader. Solid punch again, splitting the guard from Sky Nicholson. We're through 9. It's been all Sky.
Yeah, if you were going to argue for giving Alvarez any round, it would have been that last one. Just on being aggressive for the first time, but if, it might just be relative compared to the other rounds, what you might give it to her, but I don't know if she actually won the round.
It's like, how much does this round stand out because of what she showed in the other rounds?
Right. That's exactly what I mean. Nicholson catching most of these shots on the gloves, landing some big shots of her own.
She has aced the test, though, so far, of keeping her head offline and avoiding those clashes.
Yeah, she's done a great job of avoiding damage, which is good. I mean, live to fight on another day. But in terms of aesthetics, you're not turning any heads with this fight tonight with this opponent in front of you. Alvarez is hard to look good against.
Alvarez charging out of the gate as we begin the 10th and final round here. The final bout on Before the Bell, ahead of Serrano Cruz on DAZN, coming up in a short while.
Alvarez almost landed a good hard right hook on the referee in that last exchange. Yeah, if there was any success from Alvarez tonight, it's been the left hook to the body. That's the only thing that has landed with any kind of regularity. Oof. Big swing there. See, Alvarez looks like she's physically strong. She's obviously in good shape. She's very tough.
Don't push your head down.
40 seconds to go in round number 10. As Sky Nicholson is looking to capture her second pro belt in as many fights. You wonder what else she'd take away from a night like this.
No, you're getting 10 rounds in, you're getting it under your belt, you got to fight in front of a big crowd, fight week, another training camp. She got to train outside of, her comfort zone, going into freezing cold Ohio with Alicia. So, there's a lot to take in from a fight, other than the fight itself. There's training camps and experiences. So
you can only operate based on the product that's put in front of you. Awkward, frustrating at times, but Sky Nicholson doing everything that she could do in her control to come away in stride, and it looks like she will be victorious as we approach the end of this 10-rounder. Tanya Alvarez in the corner, Nicholson ready to go. We thought that was the final round.
Yeah, I thought it was.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is the 10th and final round.
Well, here is the 10th and final round. There was some confusion all around our area about whether or not the fight could, but this is the 10th round. Look, either way, Sky Nicholson has won every round. So here we go with the 10th and final round.
Oh, big overhand shot from Alvarez.
Alvarez trying to make a mark before the conclusion of this fight.
Oof, there's that right hook over the top that Sky's been trying to land and landing a lot of them all night long. Left hand as well. Catches Tanya right on the jaw.
Sky Nicholson looking to put a bow on this performance with more impactful shots.
Oof.
Another overhand left.
Yeah, those looping shots worry me because the chances of head clashes. Again, no body work from Nicholson. Hasn't been an adjustment there from the corner, nobody.
How do you approach that with a charging fighter like Alvarez?
No, once you're on the inside here, there's opportunities to punch on the inside. Just rip uppercuts to the body from there, right up the middle. I think would be really beneficial for someone like Alvarez, who's so forward, so over their front foot, and is obviously takes the punch as well upstairs.
That will do it. Sky Nicholson getting through the 10 rounds. She took what was given to her, and Nicholson with another impressive performance against the awkward come-forward Tanya Alvarez. And through 10 rounds, it looks like another pro belt will head into the corner of Sky Nicholson. Everyone had an idea early on of what this fight could look like. It only took about a minute or so from the opening round.
Yeah, each round was pretty much a carbon copy of the preceding round. Alvarez charging in with a complete lack of a jab, throwing hooks and overhand shots on the inside. And Nicholson keeping the distance, peppering, landing right hooks, riding left hands.
So Nicholson, after winning the Commonwealth title back in the fall over Christina Jacobs, looks like she is on her way to winning the vacant WBC silver featherweight title here at the Garden. Could a title eliminator be next for the 27-year-old southpaw out of Australia? We will soon find out. And perhaps a world title opportunity lies ahead here in 2023. Let's go inside the ring with David Diamante for the final scorecard total.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 10 rounds here at Madison Square Garden, we go to the judges' score totals. They read as follows. Martha Tremblay, 100-90. John McKay, 98-92. And Alan Ney scores this bout 97-93. All three for your winner by unanimous decision. She's still undefeated and the new WBC Silver Featherweight Champion, Sky Nicholson.
A unanimous decision win for Sky Nicholson, but I'm hard-pressed to find any round for Tanya Alvarez, but clearly they were given by the judges.
Yeah, I think it was probably those later rounds where Sky was slowing down a little bit, and Alvarez did have some success in rounds 9, 8, 9, 10. Maybe those are the rounds I could see it, but other than that, it was all Sky.
Those rounds, though, was Alvarez really in control? You know,
I don't think she was in control of her own body, let alone the round itself. But
well, Nicholson improves to 6-0 here as a pro.
Comes away with the win, has a strap, gets another 10 rounds of professional boxing under her belt.
Back-to-back 10-round fights for Sky Nicholson. Had to be quickly in and out tonight, tagging her opponent, moving her head to avoid a clash. Just an awkward style opponent for Sky Nicholson, yet she comes away doing as good of a job as she possibly could. Perhaps a little more work to the body, but overall in full command here at the Garden as she gets the WBC silver featherweight title and improves to 6-0.
If you want to be the best, and Nicholson has stated that she does want to be the best, you got to be able to beat everybody, even those awkward people and those awkward fights, those awkward nights. So, it's a step in the process.
5 exciting matchups we just saw here on Before the Bell. 3 straight women cards that looked pretty sharp here in Before the Bell at the Garden as well. We have plenty more to go, and it all begins on DAZN coming up in a few moments. Again, 8 p.m. Eastern time as we get set for the main card here at the Garden, all highlighted by the undisputed doubleheader. Amanda Serrano and Erika Cruz in the main event. The co-feature, Alicia Bumgarner and Ellen Mechalad for undisputed at 130 pounds. We thank you for joining us here on Before the Bell. For Chris Algieri, our entire Matchroom Boxing crew, I'm Justin Shackle. Enjoy Serrano Cruz on DAZN.
Amanda, the real deal, Serrano. 7 weight classes, 7-time world champion. Erika Cruz.
She's just a straight fighter.
It doesn't get much bigger than this.
She wants to make history.